Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest. Mr. Dave Mayhew is with us. How are you, dude?
Yes, doing great. It's wonderful to be here with you guys.
Finally made it happen, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
Hyped.
Man.
I feel like my name has been tossed here and there, but,
Not only around here, but everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Not every... But how's everything good? You're down in Encinitas, right?
Yep.
How's that going down there?
It's a beautiful place. We're like a couple blocks from the beach.
Ooh,
Nice.
A couple blocks from Poods.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So
you could skate to Poods.
Yeah.
Right? Do you skate or ride your bike?
Usually ride my bike.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
Just the kids are growing up and just
got 2 kids.
Yep, 2 kids,
Yeah.
and my wife is fantastic. And
Okay, so life's good.
Life is good.
Man, I always feel like and we talk about it on the show, when you get older, it's so nice to have a place you could just ride your bike to or skate to go skating.
Yeah.
It's like, it's essential.
Yeah.
I don't want to be driving around. You know what I mean?
Well, especially if there's a lot of traffic. Like here in LA, it's a
Oh,
whole difference.
God.
But you're down in Encinitas, it's pretty mellow, right? It's not like a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I mean, here's a perfect example. So we have a car that we had just gotten, and we've had almost 2 years, and we've driven 10,000 miles.
That's insane.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I run the kids to school. They
On
ride
your
their
back?
bikes.
You running it with them on your back?
No.
Oh,
I run.
you
They're on
run.
the bikes.
Okay.
And then I'll do like another couple miles usually to come home. So I try to average, a couple runs a week.
Oh,
and
wow.
stuff. And,
Oh, so you run?
yeah.
Oh, how's that? Because I always hear that running's not good for your knees.
Neither is skateboarding.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Case in point. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
No, I mean, I just view it as like just staying in shape,
Yeah,
Totally.
for sure.
Longevity, just try to be in shape. And, I still like to skate a lot. So I just figure it can't hurt,
I'm sure there's some mornings where you wake up and you're like, oh, God, okay, let me just drive the kids. Like, I'm not really in the mood to run,
Yeah, when you love it, dude, sometimes fun. I mean,
Yeah,
you enjoy doing it,
It
know?
seems like a part of his lifestyle. So it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, God, I got to go do this. Like, he's like,
And,
know, man.
and
Stoked.
the school setup is like parallel to these rail tracks, train tracks.
Ah,
So basically, like to drive is kind of a pain in the butt.
got you. So it is
Because you
easier.
can only kind of get in. So I'll run or bike, and there's just like lines of cars.
And you're just
everybody trying to
passing
run,
them
right?
Passing
Like,
it.
hey, everybody is just like
That's terrible.
running along, So.
Amazing. And then
No,
you pick them up as well? Do you do the
Yeah.
same thing? You run
So I
back?
I'll ride my bike usually
Oh,
and pick them
okay.
up.
Got you.
Because then I'll do my exercise and then come home, shower.
Do you get a time to skate during the day?
Not usually. We got 2 dogs, so I walk the dogs and I cook pretty much all our food, so just get food prepped. And,
Okay.
That's a lot as it is.
Yeah, I'm the stay-at-home dad, so just keep
Nice.
things clean and I
Yeah.
mean,
It-
sometimes I'll get out and skate, for a bit. Unfortunately, I can't do like the half-hour skate session because I can't even warm up in a half hour.
Yeah.
I get you.
So it's like a
dude.
commitment. Like if I want to go skate, it's gonna be like 2 hours. It's like the hour to warm up and then the hour to get broke off.
Yeah.
It's like later.
Down.
I'm the same way though. I can't just go out and skate for a couple. I need to like have a session,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I don't get to skate that much. So I need that like fulfillment. I
Yep.
can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go skate for an hour. No,
Right.
no.
So life is good, and
Hell yeah.
just honored to be here with you
Oh
guys.
man,
and,
we're stoked that you
know,
came.
like-
Definitely stoked.
I was talking to a friend of like how I wanted to kind of jump into this, and as a young kid from Wisconsin, about as far away from skateboarding as possible, like I just wanted to come on and just give a huge thanks to like Nodis and Guns, Rodney Mullen, just like all these people, Jerron, like who I used to sit and watch,
Hell
you
yeah.
know,
Wow, yeah.
Rewind, slow mo, like, what was that?
Yeah.
Like I just want to thank the people that came before me that made a young kid in Wisconsin
That's awesome.
want to
bro.
pick up a board.
Amazing, amazing.
It's
I
like
think all
watching-
those. Go ahead. Sorry.
My friend and I were talking, like watching Ray Barbie, like for the first time float along a sidewalk, just butter, just like
dude.
it was. You know, I don't think they realized,
The
you know,
impact.
how impactful it was for us
Right.
worldwide. You know,
100%.
which was awesome because at that time, you know, like after Vert and like everything, there wasn't as much money in it, and everybody like was still on the grind, still pushing it. You know,
Yeah,
and it wasn't about money or anything. It was about just this open book with blank pages. Like, what can we do?
Passion.
You know,
Yeah.
exactly.
Big time.
I think that a lot of everybody you mentioned there, I mean, like you said, worldwide.
Yeah, I
You
mean, I
know,
could go
it's-
on mentioning
yeah.
names,
So
but
many.
Go
like,
ahead, bro. You got a list right after this, man. I'm sure they'd love to hear it, dude.
No, it was just, you know, just all those videos. Like we just, like I was saying, you know, in Wisconsin, it's like you get, you know, six months to skate, and then you got about 6 months to freeze.
Yeah.
The weather's pretty.
You know, and we
Right.
would like, you know, this might be jumping ahead a little bit,
No,
but like,
please.
you know, we would run to like heated parking garages and like try to, you know, emulate freaking, you know, whatever, like Chico.
Yeah.
You know, his
Sick.
line like from a world video is like kickflip, tray flip, backstep flip, half cab no slide. Like,
Right.
you know, and you just like want to just like do it.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say
Totally.
heated
You know?
parking garages?
Yes.
They have heat. They have heat
amazing.
pumped through the parking garage.
Yes.
I've never
So
even
sick.
experienced that.
Yeah.
Wisconsin
We don't
gets
need to.
cold.
Yeah.
What
I'm
part
sure.
of Wisconsin?
So Madison. It's
Madison.
the
okay.
yep, it's the
Wisconsin.
capital. The university's big there, which
Mm.
you know, if we want to backtrack a little bit, you know, I could say that I was born in right outside of St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
You know, and my parents were raised in St. Louis, and then my dad was in agriculture for a while, and we kind of moved to see Tallahassee, Florida first,
Okay.
and then McAllen, Texas, which is like the bottom part of Texas, and all the way to Madison, Wisconsin.
God, I mean, we're talking about the extreme weathers
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was dope about Madison, Wisconsin, when, you know, obviously it was for my parents, was that Madison, the rat sculler there on the campus, was the first campus you could drink beer at
Oh wow.
Oh, shit.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh,
on campus.
people would just drink beers and go to class?
I mean,
I don't.
like that'd be
I can't. I
appropriate.
can't exactly tell what people were doing back then, but
Okay,
like,
but it was legal.
so yeah. So
Yeah, it was
my
cool.
mom
it was cool. It
had
was cool. It was mellow.
my mom had two brothers, and they would go up to Madison to be able to drink on campus.
wow.
I mean, it's the
They're in
times,
geography
you know?
class just with a 40.
They weren't
Staying
even.
warm.
They didn't even go to school there.
Yeah, no, okay.
But that was like how Madison kind of became, I don't want to say famous, but that's how my family, we stumbled upon Madison, because it's like situated between two lakes. It's just really beautiful land,
Sure. Wow.
you know, and that's kind of where we ended up.
Wait, is
So-
that still a thing? Like you can drink beer on campus? Is that
Well, now you can do it anywhere.
Yeah,
but, like,
exactly.
Right.
At that point,
Like you couldn't drink it at other campuses?
But what is it? Is it like BYOB or something? Or they had like bars on campus?
I wasn't alive, dude.
Okay. I got to get this
Like, just-
in my head. It's
Yeah.
like weird. But I'm trying to figure
But
it
the
out.
rat skeller is in the student union there, and it's
Okay.
just kind of like, it's in the basement. It's just kind of like, it must have been a scene back then.
Wow.
God, what a trip.
You know?
That is.
Yeah, just have a beer. It's all good.
So yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So then even like going to elementary school, I remember the first time it snowed or something. 'Cause me and my brother, like, you know, we're coming from McAllen. We had cowboy boots. I had the belt with the buckle. You know, like,
Right.
and I remember my mom either got a note sent home or a phone call like, cowboy boots are not good for the winter. 'Cause me and my brother just like,
Slipping, sliding around.
you know, just
right.
sliding.
There's no tread, no traction
None.
on the cowboy boots. They're
None.
smooth.
And probably, you know, P.S. it was like, get your kids a jacket. You know, so
Freezing
like,
over here.
God.
yeah,
Imagine cowboy boots and a jacket, you know. Ditch the cowboy boots, get a jacket.
yeah.
Wow. That's funny, man.
So yeah,
Well, listen, we got a lot to cover in this episode. A lot of cover. We got, I mean, not only skateboarding. I mean, you were on some of the most iconic teams and videos and stuff like that. There's also The D3, the Osiris D3, a lot of talk, a lot of
Oh, yeah.
controversy,
Definitely.
a lot of shoes sold about the DC. But listen, we'll get into that later. Okay, we'll get into that later.
Yes.
But I want to talking about Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Cowboy boots, get a jacket. Like, how does one even start to skate?
So my brother and a couple of his friends started skateboarding.
Older brother.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes. Older brother. He's about 4 years older than me.
Okay.
Started skateboarding, and we lived kind of like on top of a hill. So it was like either side was down, but where we lived was flat. So we had like a nice little area for flat ground, and they would sit out there and do like turns and,
Little spins
yeah,
and shit.
little hand plants and
Okay.
stuff. And I remember just looking out the window like, that's cool, And I think at that point I had got a board. So this is probably like, I'm guessing 86-ish, butt boarding or some like Veriflex board.
Sure.
And, eventually I think I got a real board. And then just one day, friggin' Tyrone Olson shows up because Tyrone's my age, but he would run with the older cats.
Okay.
Like my parents were like, "You are not going downtown." Tyrone's mom was like, "Bye, go, just come home."
Sure.
So yeah, eventually, I started skating with Tyrone, and we just watched my brother. So he ripped like 360 ollies. It got better and better.
Sure.
Just rad. If you're a person of the hand plant day and ho-hos and stuff,
Fun times. People
It
would
was-
do circles around
yeah.
people,
it was it's like a breakdancing circle.
Yeah.
What do you got? And then your next dude would go in and
Wow.
do some,
It's wild.
finger
It's
flip
definitely-
hand plant or sad plant or whatever. It was just kind of real organic,
Yeah,
Sure.
that was the time. It was so cool.
And
How old
You know-
were you when you first started hanging out with Tyrone?
so I would say about 14.
14?
Yeah,
Okay.
13,
Okay.
14.
Sure. And you'd already been skating for a little bit. And,
Yeah.
Doing your thing.
Yep.
Okay. Got you.
I had myself a little ollie.
Got your little ollie going. Okay.
Nice.
That's where it starts.
yeah.
Trying to ollie
Yeah.
over like a little Pepsi can or something.
Well, I
Yeah.
remember it's been it was my last year of middle school. I think kids would put backpacks out and I could ollie them,
That's it.
and that was cool,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Did you go to school, Tyrone, too?
So I would go to school and Tyrone would be out playing hacky sack, smoking cigarettes.
Oh, Jesus.
I love Tyrone, we're awesome, but we definitely led two different lives.
Gotcha.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So yeah, there's a grate at my high school where the pool, the chlorine would come out, so it was all heated. So if it was super cold out, you could sit on this grate and it felt like you were in Southern California,
Okay.
So yeah, I remember seeing him, I would go into school and be like,
He's on the
"What's
grate
up?"
and you come
Yeah,
out and he's on the grate.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I love that.
But school's not for everybody, and
Sure.
it's-
Sure.
it's-
And he was skating too, right? He would
Yeah.
go out and skate and stuff.
Yep.
So he probably found that more interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then, as things kind of progressed, I found skateboarding was not big in Madison. I was one of two dudes in my high school.
Yeah.
Got you.
We just got bagged on and whatever.
Yeah.
So one of my friends at school was this guy Mike Muckler and Pat McGrath. These two kids that were at my school that we'd skate. And then eventually, the other high school, my friend Pete Lehman
Oh, yeah.
skated, so he ended up skating for Toy Machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you fast forward a little bit more, and Aaron Snyder had moved down from Green Bay
Yep.
and ended up living in Madison.
God.
So we were kind of
Wow.
this little crew, and just we had this campus because the university kept growing and building. So we kind of lived in this town that was still growing,
Right.
which was rad because they would build stuff they'd build buildings with just banks all the way around the whole thing. You're just
Thanks.
Oh man,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is sweet, you know. And then yeah, like it's funny because like at that time Madison was like a cool skate town.
Okay.
So we had like Joey Bass would come out,
Ooh, sick.
like Johnny Fonseca from Chicago would come skate,
okay.
like people would come there to skate. 'Cause
Sure.
it was like rad, you know.
Yeah.
And
Were you knowing who all these guys were? Or they were nobody at that time.
I knew before I had met Joey Bass, like I'd heard of him, obviously,
Okay.
we were little skate nerds. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Sure.
But then I knew Johnny just from Chicago's like 2.5 hours away.
Ah, not
You know,
bad.
3 hour, whatever.
Gotcha.
But like, so I knew a bunch of the Chicago dudes and they'd come to Madison and skate
Amazing.
and everything. So then, like as we progressed, like there's a shop called California Connection. That was like the main shop on the cool, kind of strip.
The happening
like,
strip in the
yeah,
city.
that my brother ended up skating for.
Oh.
So I remember the guy Dan Marsden, like going in there and like just being like, this little kid, like this is just so cool, kind of like how I am now. But yeah, like, and I remember, I was getting better and like the owner had bought me a Coke. And I was just like, that is the coolest thing ever.
And sometimes the small things like
Yeah,
that.
like it was just
Like
it
you
just
remember
stuck.
it to this day that the
Yeah.
owner of the
Oh,
skate
yeah.
shop bought you a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I saw him on tour in Florida, and just rode down with him and just was like,
Sick.
it's,
So sick.
Talk about the
Can't-
Coca-Cola. Yeah.
I know. It's like you were sponsored.
Yeah.
Like I got a free Coke.
But when you get to go on the ride that we went on, you can't help but like know the people you need to thank.
Sure.
For sure.
Absolutely,
like
dude.
it's just you have to do it, So
Totally.
like, it was cool to see him because like once he had sold the shop to a different dude, he vanished.
Oh,
So he didn't see me
got you.
become like I was
Sponsor.
just yeah,
About to become,
sponsor,
yeah.
whatever,
Right,
you know.
right. Did you end up writing for that shop eventually, or
Yes.
you
So-
did?
So,
Okay.
yeah. So
Let me ask you a quick question though. When you got your first board, do you remember what it was?
yeah, Rob Roscoe
Rob Roscoe.
for Easter.
For Easter.
Nice.
Did they hide it along with the eggs? You went and found it?
It was out in the backyard.
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty crazy, and I want to come back to that story.
Okay,
because
for sure.
It's kind of is funny, but like, yeah, it was a Rob Roscoe, and yeah, I ended up riding for the shop. Tyrone was riding for the shop. All of my friends, and so one of the guys was from Stevens Point, who was my brother's friend,
Okay.
who became my friend, is one we all know, Sean Cliver.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Fabulous artist.
yes,
Definitely.
Wow.
so that's a funny story. 'Cause
Okay.
So I got to know Sean pretty well. He'd sleep on my couch,
Wow.
and, or my parents' couch, I
Sure,
should say.
sure.
And like, so it's kind of funny, and we'll go into it more, just the history of Madison and skateboarding, But yeah, that whole thing with I told my brother's a pretty good artist, and I told him about that Apollo contest is the way that Sean came about, and I think if I remember, my brother's, jokingly like, nobody's gonna win that, just kind of blew it off, and then his like one of his best friends ended up winning it.
Yeah, right.
Pretty crazy,
It is.
Do you think your brother had a chance to win that contest if he went in? I mean, was he that good where he
He was
could
a
have?
good artist, yeah. I
Okay.
think Sean probably still would have won.
Okay.
But-
Sounds
You know,
pretty good. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know, man. He's an
No,
artist,
but,
you know.
he was still, Sean was a young kid,
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, obviously he's developed as time went on, but,
Wait, so are you saying that's kind of the first way that Sean got kind of discovered in the?
that is the way Sean got discovered.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
amazing.
All in,
So-
in Madison?
Yeah. He's
I didn't know all these people were coming out of
But
Madison.
wait a minute, was it just like a mail-in contest or how did that?
It was an ad in a magazine.
Add in just send in your graphic.
Yeah, it's
or
like
something.
Powell Peralta's looking for a graphic.
So
I mean,
rad.
Sean would tell the story better.
Sure,
obviously.
Of
sure.
course.
I don't want to tell his story, but like,
100%.
yeah, basically it was like do some drawings, I think, and send them in.
Wow.
You know?
Oh my God. Okay.
Which-
okay.
Recruiting. That's pretty
which-
sick.
Which led to one of the most, I think, iconic graphics ever, and one of a personal favorite, Ray Barbie. That was Sean's first board, throwing the cards down.
Right.
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 You know, like
Wow.
That's so rad.
so dope. You know,
That is iconic. Yeah.
it is. I mean,
Yeah.
for us,
For sure.
maybe
for
not now,
sure.
but like you know that time and moment. Like my mom would wear her Ray Barbie shirt, just like so
Oh,
proud
yeah.
of Sean.
That's
and just, like,
amazing.
Super
yeah, you
tight.
know, I mean, Madison, you know, back then it's like 300,000 people.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's small.
Sure.
You know, so like these things happening
It was big.
out of Madison is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, he's from Stevens Point, which is like I think an hour away from Madison, but he was
Oh, okay.
basically a Madison dude. Like,
He would kick it over there.
Yeah.
Right.
super
Gotcha.
good ollie.
You had a good ollie?
Yeah.
Maybe how many backpacks?
Are we talking kindergarten?
Two back.
or,
I don't
like,
know.
high
I'm just
school
wondering what
Talking
the
G-bags
apex
or-
was. Of
How
the,
many G bags?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bags you Ollie. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'd say maybe 4 G bags.
4 G-back. That's not bad.
good.
We used
with
to
all,
ollie
with all the
boards.
hip hop CDs in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Fully
Yeah.
packed.
Fully
Yeah.
packed.
So you were saying you got sponsored by the shop. How
Yep.
old were you when you got sponsored by the shop?
say probably about 15.
15? Okay. So it's going pretty quick, you know? Like you
Yeah.
said 14, 13, and then you got the sponsor
Yeah,
at
I mean-
16. Yeah.
I think the bar was pretty low for sponsorship.
But what
Well-
did you do? Just like skate with the guys there and they put you on? Or was it like,
Yeah, I mean, I
weren't
think it
making
was
sponsor me
it was a
tapes.
lot more because of my brother. I think it was like the owner was probably like, well, he's good, so he must be good too.
Right.
I'll take a bet on him, maybe.
Got you.
You know?
Put him on as a token. He's on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, we'd write Team CC on all our boards, and like, you know, it was sweet.
Yeah, you guys were
know?
hyped. Represent.
California connection. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
That's
rad.
amazing.
It was funny because like at the time I necessarily didn't fully get the name, you know.
Yeah.
But it was like this connection to California.
Totally.
Because I mean, that's where we go back to like watching every single video all winter. Like I would take the bus straight from school. It'd be like, you know, -10 out.
Jeez.
Take the bus, go to the skate shop, watch whatever video a couple times, take the bus home, do my homework, and go to bed.
That's what's so cool about
So,
your
like-
local skate shops. You know what I mean? It's like a a founding place where you can just kind of sit there and hang out, watch videos, and just
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it was everything about skateboarding at that point. You know,
Yeah.
So you couldn't really
So-
skate at all during the winters except for the heated parking lots?
we would the heated parking lots, and then you know we'd shovel out areas. Me and
yeah.
Snyder and Pete and the crew, we'd like shovel out like a ledge. You know,
Okay.
so I got like footage of me like skating in between snowbanks and like,
That's so sick.
because you know, like even if it's that cold, like if you go out, you know, and you start, if you can get to that point where you're sweating, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's just you don't want to fall down in those first like 5 minutes.
That's oof.
Fall on
You
your
know,
hands.
Slap your hand down on the
Yeah.
ground. Ooh.
That's the worst.
brittle.
So you know, we'd show up like gloves and beanies and you know jacket, and then like you'd skate, take it off, and it'd be like steaming off. You know, like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So the skate shop, when would you first by the way, what happened to your brother? Was he still like did he just stop skating after
Yeah,
a while?
he ended up going to the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Okay. Got you.
And just kind of fell out of skating. You know, a lot of the crew that he kind of rolled with, I think.
Stopped.
Yeah,
It happens.
You know, ended up going to school and
Right.
you know just living different
Moved on,
lives.
moved
You know,
on.
kind of
Okay.
moved on. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, like,
So you kept the dream alive, you kept skating.
yeah, I mean, it definitely put the bug in me to like wanted to take it somewhere else. You know?
For sure.
And then, like I've said before, like seeing all the dudes, the OGs, like, you know, watching Natis's first part, like it's just,
Crazy.
yeah, you know, it's just like he can do that. Like I want to
Right.
go do that.
Yeah.
And he was probably doing that
You
a
know,
year before, and you're
exactly.
getting the video. Yeah.
We just couldn't find a fire hydrant low enough to
sure.
like, spin around on,
Of
you know?
course.
Sure.
Man.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, just watching all those guys, it just was like, it would start eating away, you know, where you're just like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be like that. I want
Right.
to dress like that. I want to engulf that, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's pretty much what we did.
And then so from the shop, what was your first like sponsor? Like, were you
So-
flowed by anybody? Was it shop flow or what happened there?
It would be Pete Lehman, myself, and us going to like Video Station, which for the people that don't know is like a store that you could go rent
VHS tapes.
VHS tapes. But what you could rent was a camcorder.
Oh,
You could rent camcorders.
Damn.
Okay.
In Madison, you could.
I was like, wow.
I never heard of no video shop that did that.
I know.
Either, yeah.
So you would rent a video camera, and they would probably have tapes there that you
would-
would buy.
We'd film ourselves.
Sick.
And it wasn't until Snyder moved down, he had a video camera.
Got you.
That was like,
Game
if he wouldn't have
changer.
moved down,
Who knows?
who knows?
Wow. So
Because
he
you could
had-
only lug that VHS camera around.
Oh,
so
it was the big
long.
one.
Yeah.
It was the big one with the. You would actually put a big VHS tape in it.
It was like
shit.
a news reporter.
Got you.
Know,
Some
camera.
kids running around Madison with the. So did Schneider? He had the
were.
little one. He had the
Yes.
little high 8 or whatever.
Yeah, eventually, it kind of had transferred into the high 8
Okay. And you
by the
guys
time he had moved down.
and you guys were just filming yourselves. Were
Yeah.
you filming yourselves just to film it? Because you were trying. Obviously back then you're trying to emulate what everybody else is doing. You're filming these little video parts. It wasn't for like sponsorship, was it? Or
At first, it was just like, to do it.
yeah.
Just because, like, all we'd watch is videos, and it just felt like we're already, like, looking like them, skating like them, and they're all filming. I guess we should film.
Sure.
Like, it wasn't like, we got to make sponsor me videos, we got to get it out, and,
Right.
this or that. Like, that was not even a thought.
Got you.
You know, we just ended up filming each other and having fun, and Tyrone would kind of come in and out a little bit because he lived down the street from me for a good while.
Okay.
And it's funny because, like, my parents were both teachers, a little bit more health conscious, and Tyrone's mom, either his mom would buy like sugar cereal and all that stuff that I couldn't get.
Yeah. So you love going over to his house.
I would go to his house
Yeah.
to eat cereal, and he'd come to my house and like eat our cereal.
Right. You'd be like, what the hell is this shit? Wheaties? Hell no.
So like, yeah, but we all kind of would film and get in the mix, and like, and Aaron really kind of got into like editing and like getting a little soundboard and be able to like put music with it, and
There's always
obviously
one
with
friend.
what he's doing now.
Yeah, I was gonna say now he's
Always.
editing big TV shows and stuff
yeah,
like
it's
that.
perfect for Aaron.
For sure.
So
Because
rad.
he was like a movie buff, like, it's perfect for him.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
at
know?
this time, who was the best in your crew? Because there's always one kid that's, the best.
It was- It was,
And sometimes it's the guy who doesn't even make it in skateboarding.
Probably Dave.
it was,
But I'm just asking. I mean, look who he's around though: Dave,
was-
Tyrone, Aaron Schneider.
it was funny because like, and you could relate to this maybe, but like, some of us could kickflip, some of us could heel flip,
Okay.
some of us could tray flip, some of us could do an impossible.
Gotcha.
So it's all like, how do you say who was better at that time? Like, I
Yeah.
can't heel flip to save my life,
Okay.
but I kick flip.
Yeah.
So does that
Yeah.
mean I'm better? And
Right.
everybody was just ripping.
Got you. Okay.
I
okay,
mean, if you think about like where Aaron went and where Pete had gone and myself, like and Tyrone, like,
Yeah.
I don't think we were messing around too much, like we wanted to be the video dude,
Right.
I always call it like downloading, like, I'd go watch a video and like download.
In your mind.
Yeah, like watching like Chris Fissel,
Oh.
the
New Deal.
like
Yep.
just,
Crazy.
it's just like, what the board, you push it this way, but the board flips that way. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Dude, did he just have like one part? Am I
I-
mistaken?
It was before my time. I have no
I
idea.
think
he might
I
just
think
have
he
one
only had
part,
one
dude.
part.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
What was that?
but-
The Deal is Dead or no?
1281.
1281.
Yeah,
1281.
1281.
Yeah. And he was tech too.
He was gnarly.
Yeah, man.
Super tech.
Super gnarly.
But like,
Armando Barajas.
yeah,
Julio de la
Armando's
Cruz.
sick. Oh,
Nick Tancrader. Do you remember that guy?
I don't know.
I
He
do.
was in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Nick
was like a
Tan Crater?
Yeah, he was a local guy in the valley, so it always stood out to me. And he would skate our local DMV, and I would be able
Oh.
to catch him here and there. And I was
Nice.
like, "Damn, he was skating for New Deal."
Oh shit.
Yeah, pretty rad.
John Montesi.
John
I
Mo-
mean,
Dude, that was a great
Somebody-
video. That video was like 40 minutes long or something.
was,
Bro,
yeah.
it was a long video.
Very engaging.
God
but
damn.
those are the videos that also intermix, I think, some vert.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like that was probably the average, kind of length.
So you were saying you were going on to getting sponsored. What
So
was
yeah,
that all
eventually,
about?
like, there's a point where like we were doing everything they were doing in the videos
Mm-hmm.
and then some.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the point where it's like, well, we can do this and that. And I think for me, a big part of it was just the people I had met You know, whether it's from Chicago, like Nate Lyons. I don't know if you ever heard of Nate, but he rode for a company called Small Room, which a long time ago was like Frank Harada.
Ooh.
I think, you know, Nate and I don't even know, but they had ads in a magazine, and I sent a video to them.
Did Aaron Schneider edit the video for you?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Amazing.
And that, when we say edit, we're talking like, I'm going to hook this, you know, camera up to this VCR. I'm going to press pause, record.
Totally.
You know, and yes.
But you did it, man. You sent it into them because I'm sure, they had ads in the mag? Back then, all the companies had their addresses in there.
Oh, yeah.
So
send, you know, $2 for stickers or something. And
That was a small company, dude. It's such a rad company. Small Room.
Yeah.
What a rad name, too.
It was, the graphics were dope.
Super
like
dope. Yeah.
It was out of California?
San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
I would still be riding for him if it was around because
they were
I'm a
dope.
loyal ass dude.
Okay.
You know, like that's where I would be, you know.
So how did they respond when you sent that in?
I think the first one was like, you know, kind of like nice video. We want to see more.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I think at the same time I had sent a video to Crux
Crux Trucks?
because I'm thinking like, I need wheels. I
need
need trucks.
I need a whole setup.
Yeah.
You know, like how am I going to get this complete going?
Got you. Yeah.
And once again, you know, Madison is far, far away from reality. I still had never seen a pro.
Never.
Right.
Okay.
You know, Aaron put together videos and we just film more and we go to the turf, which was in Milwaukee, the bowls, and a lot of Santa Cruz videos originally.
Okay.
So I kind of have a background in like skating some bowls and stuff, little lean tails and some air and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then this place opened in Rockford, Illinois called Rotation Station.
Yep.
So if you remember, there's a video, I can't remember what PAL video it was, but the guy was like skate kind of dancing. And he's doing like, I don't know if it was propaganda or one of them.
Okay.
This guy, I think his name.
Public domain.
Was it Public
Yeah,
Domain?
yeah.
Okay. Daniel Gesmer, I think
Yep.
his name was.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's in this, I'm pretty sure this is where it was because it looks exactly like it was in the videos, but like he was rolling around a rink just kind of like, you know, freaking dancing and whatever.
Okay.
That turned into like a skate park.
Ah.
Like,
In the roller rink.
yeah,
Got you.
in the roller rink.
Wow,
So that was
so
like
rad.
our savior.
Oh, in the winters too.
Yeah.
Huh? Indoor.
I mean, I would go to school. This is now I'm like 16, have a car, but like I'd go to school, like, you know, come right out. Whoever's going, we're going. Like
Right.
jump in the car, you know, go down there.
How
skate.
far away is it?
We could get there in like 50 minutes.
Perfect.
Sick.
You know,
Still make it home by dinner.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
we'd skate hard for like 3 hours, come back, dinner, shower, homework.
So you started.
Yeah,
you started
man.
to film there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have like, it's cool. I was able to like keep a lot of these filmed video parts,
Right.
and I have them with me.
Love it.
Not on YouTube or anything. You're not
No,
uploading.
no.
Well, not
They're just on my
upload-
computer.
Okay.
What? Share
Upload
that.
'em,
We gotta
yeah.
share it for the world.
You should definitely
When this
upload
episode
those.
comes out, put it out.
Yeah,
yeah.
At least do some Instagram posts or something.
Yeah.
I-
People love to see that shit. Dude. I mean,
I-
if you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just sometimes like you know, we lived our life, and that's just
Keep
kind
it
of
for yourself.
You
I
know?
get you.
I
I
like
get
to
you.
just be kind of like to myself.
Totally.
You
Yeah,
know?
you want to keep something for yourself, but the world, you know, man, there's a lot. It's a lot of nostalgic there, you know.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it, but it's not. It doesn't work for everyone.
I get you. I get
You know?
you. I get you. Okay.
Like I don't know. It was just kind of being a Midwest boy. Like I just don't. I don't need the.
Attention
You know,
and
good job.
Right.
Like you're doing great. You
Right,
know?
right.
Like,
Right.
So the small room ended up really putting you on.
Yeah.
They straight
yep.
up.
So I ended up getting some boards from them.
Okay.
Crux, you know, Jeff Kendall,
Yeah.
Sick.
rad dude, you
He-
know,
Hell
started
yeah.
filming me Crux and stuff.
What
And
about the wheels?
he would throw in wheels every
Okay.
once in a while. I don't even know if they're OJs or
It was probably
Yeah.
A
OJ's
little
back
blurry
then.
back
Yeah.
then.
yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Because the
but-
trucks could last you a long time. So you
Yeah.
get a set of trucks, cool. But the
Yeah.
board and wheels for sure. you
But
need
it
to,
also
like,
it also
rotation.
started the hustle.
Yeah.
Where like I would get a couple boards and like I don't really break boards. I was like, okay, I can use these 2 boards for this month. I can go sell 2 boards, and
Yeah.
that way I don't have to get a job.
Perfect.
You know,
Perfect. Hell yeah.
not I did have jobs. I'm not trying to say
okay.
don't get a job, but at that point, like that was kind of a little bit of a hustle, you know.
I think everybody had that hustle at one point in time
Yeah.
or another. Yeah.
You know,
I say majority of skateboarders have that hustle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
would
if you're
say
a
so.
early 90s skater, like
Even to now.
you're like,
say
you should
so.
see my trunk.
I know. I know.
I mean, that used to be pretty heavy back in the day.
Oh.
But
Well, real quick, it used to be so much more obvious back then. Now you don't see people being as
it's on the
obvious.
low. No,
it's
everybody's
super on the low now.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean-
You don't see anyone at the park being like,
No.
"Yo, $20."
Back then it was kind of understood a little
But
bit.
nowadays, you also have to swallow a little bit of pride, I think, with it.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
here I am pro, but
Selling a couple boards.
Totally. I
you got on
I
this
was never
board?
shameful about that.
but you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
you know, that's maybe why some people keep it
Right.
a little
the
more
low.
discreet, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because
So
some
you-
people might find it a little embarrassing. I don't know.
No, but so you're
You know.
selling. So you're selling a couple boards to get by. You know, get some little Burger King,
Or maybe
eat some
people
Taco
don't.
Bell.
Sorry, maybe the skaters don't need to do it anymore.
They're
No.
so rich.
Yeah. No, I think skaters.
There's some
definitely
skaters
do.
that don't need to do it and still do it. So,
Right,
That was the
right,
best
right.
answer right there. That's-
So yeah, you know, along the pathway, you know, like me and Tyrone got a job at a car wash.
Okay.
Speaking of jobs, so
Yeah.
like
Sure.
it was dope because like, you know, Tyrone was in the front of the line, so you bring your car in and like vacuum it and you know this and that, and then I was on the backside with the rags, doing the windows,
Yeah,
the
okay.
doors, you know.
okay.
So like, you know, it was funny because we would end our, you know, shift, and T-Bone would always come over like, you know, pockets full of change. 'Cause he would take it out of the car.
Amazing. Amazing.
And I'd
leaving
be
the
like-
change in the car.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were
I'd be
rolling
like-
with T-Bone for days.
I know. That's
shit.
13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Shit.
Car washes to Osiris. To,
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, we were still skating all the time. Dude.
That's
Like,
so tight, dude.
I
You
love
know?
that, bro.
He's still up in SD, right?
dude, there ain't nobody skating as hard as T-Bone.
Yeah.
Man.
Hold it
That
down,
dude-
bro.
Were you calling him T-Bone back then?
We were salt and pepper.
Yes.
Salt and pepper.
Did people call you that?
Did people call you Salt?
No, it was strictly between us.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
that
okay.
point.
Where did I mean T-Bone makes sense, but like
We gotta have T-Bone on the show,
Yeah,
bro.
dude.
Hell
He
yeah.
would be-
Legend, bro.
T-Bone's got no filter.
I love it.
You know,
love
he
it.
speaks.
He speaks his
He
truth.
would have some stories to
man.
tell.
Yeah.
Man, for damn
he
sure.
sat here for
Absolutely.
Tommy Sandoval's episode, right? He was here.
I think he was here for
Yeah,
somebody's
he told me-
episode.
he
Yeah, was it
told me he'd
Tommy?
been here.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Can't
I think it was
remember.
Tommy's.
Yeah.
That seemed like a party.
Oh my god.
That was micheladas.
We got to get T-Bone on the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was first. He was
Oh.
sober. Yeah.
But yeah, so like, you know, we were doing that job, and it was funny because I learned a way to like kind of work the program because you know you run through a lot of towels.
Okay.
Those towels were always an issue. So I was like, went to the manager. I was like, I'll take care of the towels, and everybody else can just work.
Oh.
So like, I kicked back in this room, throw towels in, you know, a little soap, hit the button, do my homework,
Nice.
you know, get all that done, put it in the
Perfect.
dryer, take it all out, and like it was dope.
Okay.
Just made sure that they had their rags.
Yeah,
Right,
it was
right,
dope for
right.
a while, you know.
Okay. Sick.
I mean,
Love it.
it was the time, you know.
Yeah,
and then,
man.
you know, I went on and worked for this this research firm that did research for a building that they ended up building. But I did that. I would work during the winter, and then I'd just be like, I'm leaving during the summer 'cause I'm gonna go skate. You know, that lasted like 2 years, and then the skateboarding thing kind of.
Took off.
Yeah, those are my
Right.
2 jobs. My
Two
wife,
jobs,
My wife
okay.
always makes fun of me.
Yeah, you've only had 2 jobs.
She's like, "Come on."
yeah.
3, including the
That,
skateboard.
I mean,
Yeah,
skating
that's
is
what
a
I'm
job.
saying. Let
It
me know
is a
my 3.
job. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, small room was giving you, but did they ever make a
Yeah.
video or anything?
No,
No.
No.
How long did small
So,
room last?
I'd say like a year.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Back then, probably a lifetime.
It
Felt like
seemed
a
like forever,
lifetime.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because then Danny Mayer, who's from Omaha, and like Steve Barra, they would come up and skate Rotation Station. It was like the spot,
Got you.
you know. So you'd have dudes from Chicago, you know, kind of all over. And I ended up meeting Danny Mayer. We all became friends, Steve Barra, whatever. And like, I think at some point he was like, you should send a video to H Street. And I was, I was thinking, I was like, well, who's not on H Street? They got like everybody.
The biggest, they had a huge team.
Squad
I was like, I'll just be kind of another dude, but like somehow I ended up sending a video in, and me being out in Wisconsin, having a clue of freaking what's going on, at some point that all faded away and turned into Plan B and then Evil.
Evil.
Yeah.
Once the
Evil.
storm kind of the bomb went off, that was what you were left with.
Got
you.
you.
So I don't know how my tape went from here to there to wherever, but I ended up getting Evil boards.
Got you.
You
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of like my intro to skateboarding was Evil.
Yeah.
And you have you been to California at all this point?
No.
So just
No.
Madison.
Yeah, my first time out in California would have been through the NSA contest. So I ended up winning the one at the Turf. It was like a street style one. Ended up winning that, and I think for some reason they had skipped the middle contest and it just went straight to the finals. So I think one of the finals was in Texas.
Okay.
The famous one that a lot of people talk
the Houston
about.
contest.
I was there. And then the other one was in Encinitas at the YMCA.
Oh.
So like
that was your first
that was
time.
my first time coming out,
Wow.
So me and Snyder, stayed at friggin' Mag's house.
What about T-Bone?
T-Bone was doing T-Bone
T-Bone
stuff,
was
dude.
okay. Got you.
T-Bone was kind of like in the picture, out of the picture.
Oh,
know?
okay. I get it.
Yeah, I think my first time out here was that, and I had my first, professional encounter. Yes.
Who was? Do you remember who it was?
I do. I'm not gonna say his name.
You're not gonna.
Because all I remember is me and Aaron were at T-Mac's house, and car pulls up, dude's coming out like, "Where's my check? Where's my check?"
Oh.
Just like, just gnarly, and boom, left, and me and Aaron just like,
That was so and so.
Dang.
That was your first encounter. You're like,
Yeah.
oh god, this pro skateboarding.
it wasn't
thing.
my first pro encounter, but that was my first California encounter
Okay.
with Mag, and kind of
Jeez.
associated the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really made me think. I'm just like, am I in the right spot?
Yeah, I got to fight for my check. Shit.
Well, it's like when you start seeing money coming into the picture for the first time too.
Yeah.
Like not maybe for you, but like how
wasn't
people
for me,
how
yeah.
people react like with it in skating.
Like this is how people have to come get their checks. Shit. Like, okay. Fuck.
To go to my first pro encounter would have been a contest up in, I think, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So for some of you who know, there's a skate camp, Woodward skate camp up in Wisconsin that was existed for a long time. Being the child of two teachers, I never got to go.
No. Oh shit.
There's not much money, in teaching. It's a passion, but
Got you.
I love my parents, but it just never
It didn't
was in my
work out,
cards,
for sure.
But a lot of people went, whatever. But to get to the story was that the contest was up by there, and Ron Allen ended up coming over to where the contest was. Skate the contest. Obviously, I knew who Ron Allen was.
Yeah.
I think I ended up winning or second place or something. He comes up to me and gives me a board. He's just like, dude, you were skating rad. Like, that was dope.
Oh,
Sick.
that's
Which was
rad.
rad,
Super rad.
Super rad.
damn.
And that stays with you, bro. That's one of those things you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
That was Ron Allen, dude.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of like my first pro encounter.
Okay.
That's a positive experience right there.
Hell
No,
yeah.
it was-
You got a
it was-
board out
it
of
was
it and
cool.
everything.
I
Sick.
think my second one, and I could be wrong, I'm not sure if he was really pro, but he was a name in the Midwest, was Dave LaRue. He was a Minneapolis vert skater, kind of, known, ripped.
Sure.
I got to see him skate and skate up there and stuff, which was
Amazing.
dope. And then, just as the videos that we filmed kind of progressed and everything, I think my next pro encounter was Birdhouse. So it was like Tony Hawk, Willie Santos, I think Steve Barra
Jeez.
came to Madison and did like a demo.
Okay.
Of course, I think Tony Hawk did a McTwist on like a 3-foot ramp, you know, right?
Yeah.
Like pressuring the poor dude, you know.
God damn.
Yeah, that was my first like, not only like see the dudes, but we all hung out like that evening.
Amazing.
Which, you know, like I remember playing video games with Willie and like,
That's so
you know, just like chilling, you know, which is cool.
Wow. That's
'Cause,
incredible, bro.
you know, prior to that, it's like you put these people on a pedestal.
oh,
Like they don't even like
celebrities.
can't even like
Yeah.
touch them, you know. It's like
And here you're playing fucking Cubert with them,
Yeah.
or whatever the big game was. Yeah,
Street Fighter, I think.
Street
There you
Fighter.
go.
Okay,
There you
Let's
go.
all play Cuber.
that was a cool. That was a cool
Great game.
game. That was a cool game.
Cubert, yeah,
Cubert.
that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was really
Surreal, I bet.
surreal to, you know, kind of like see these people and like get a grasp of what tour was,
Yeah, man.
you know, because it wasn't like they show up to our city like 100%, like let's go, you know. It's like you did a demo before that, you did a demo before that, like you get broke off,
Kind of put it
whatever.
all into perspective
Yeah,
for
you
you a
know.
little bit. Got you. Huh. You give him a sponsor me tape?
No,
Did they want? No. Okay.
no.
Just Cubert.
Just Cubert.
Yeah.
I think I was riding. I think if I remember correctly, it was like still when Small Room was around, or Evil.
Oh, okay.
It's just
This is
kind
before.
of
Got you.
just
Got you.
kind of. So I was like getting a name, I guess.
Okay.
I hate to say it like that, but that's
No,
the
you can
way
say
it-
it for sure. This is your.
Starting to buzz
know.
a little bit.
But wait a
Yeah.
minute. So when Evil was around, did you ever get on the team, or
Yeah.
what happened? So you were on Evil.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
right away or flow for a minute?
So no, yeah, like flow,
Mm-hmm.
and then that leads into my first tour.
First tour with Evil.
Yep.
Wow. Who was on that tour?
So it so it was myself, Pat Chinita,
Amazing.
Aaron Snyder.
Here we go.
Sick.
Yep.
We were the AMs,
There
the
you
Young
are.
Bucks, Brian Barber,
Okay.
and then Damian Carval.
Damn.
Sick.
That's a tight little crew.
Dang it, Carvajal,
Yeah.
that's good.
And where did you go on tour? Just in the U.S. somewhere? A couple little
So-
states?
Yeah, like what happened was, you know, there wasn't much money in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Snyder's mom was like, "Oh, you can take our Saab Turbo."
Wait a minute. How old were you?
Sob, I love
17?
Yeah, 17-ish.
18? Okay.
17-ish.
Okay. Took this Saab Turbo.
Yeah. For that time, it was like,
That's
yeah.
true.
Wait a minute.
Those are no joke. Really.
Yeah.
They always had
So,
a lot
like-
of problems with fucking Greg.
Right. No, I think the company was formed from airline pilots or
I
something,
believe so.
fighter pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the little window things in the middle console. Yeah. But wait a minute. So if you're taking the tour, are you following the? Do you have like a cars?
It's a car.
Wait a minute.
5 dudes in a car.
In the Saab
And-
Turbo.
And Aaron's
Snyder.
mom's car.
And is Aaron Snyder driving the whole time?
No.
Okay.
We were inhaling cigarette smoke because those guys just smoke freaking nonstop.
In the
It's
mom's
just
car.
like,
Yeah. Amazing.
roll down your
Mom's
window,
car out.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Oh,
Damn,
God.
dude.
And that was another like
That's beast.
first taste of like, you know, the whole tour life. Because like Brian Barber didn't skate, Damian skated a little bit, but it was like up to us to hold the weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Up to
there's
the
like
AMs.
Okay.
it's like they show up and it's like open the gate, release the AMs. Like
Here we go. Sure. What about Pat? He wasn't skating?
no, Pat was. He's the
Okay.
AM.
Oh, he was the AM too. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
He was
Got
the
you.
AM.
Sorry.
So that was my intro into freaking tour life, you know.
I love that.
And we did like, I think it's like Ohio, Indiana, Missouri.
Okay.
It's pretty small, you know. We slept on people's floor. There's no hotels.
Yeah.
Like,
Where are you guys staying tonight? Can we stay at your
Yeah.
it's a damn good question. Where am I staying tonight?
I love that.
Yeah, that was my first taste of a tour kind of thing, and then
Sure.
from there, you know, we filmed on that tour, and then I had some footage from home, and then had gone out to California once by then, and filmed, and that kind of became my part for the Evil video,
Got you.
which was called Back in Black.
Okay.
I don't know how many people saw it.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see that
Exactly.
one.
No. Dubs, you missed it?
It was
What year was
might have missed
that?
that too.
92 or something?
it
I don't
was
know.
like no, it was like 94 maybe.
Oh, okay.
I think most of the footage was like 93.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't on my radar, I guess.
I was bummed because I had like no slide nollie flip on a handrail, like
What?
switch
Ooh.
laser like off
Crazy.
this ledge, like
What rail
But-
did you no slide nollie flip?
the El Cajon courthouse rail.
Which one?
So the one that Duffy did like tray flip lip slide
Okay.
is like
The
square.
square one?
Oh,
Square.
yeah.
Wow.
Got you.
That's amazing, dude.
So like,
Didn't Damon Bird fuck that thing up too?
yep.
Okay. Damon Bird.
Um,
Wow.
Me being in Wisconsin still, that part coming out,
Mm-hmm. People were talking.
you know, like,
right. Who's this
but
guy?
I don't even know who's talking. There was like people, those dudes were telling me people were hype, people were super stoked on your part, like we want to turn you pro.
Ooh.
And I was just kind of like,
That's nice.
like I don't know. You
You
know?
weren't ready.
Well,
You didn't feel like you were ready.
I guess I didn't have the blueprint.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like if you live out here in California, you probably know
The
this is what
ABC
happens
yeah,
and this is what happens. Like
Sure.
Right.
we're just like flying into a storm. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I was like, okay, I'm graduating high school. You know, like I think I can turn pro.
Mm-hmm.
I had won some contests, had a video part, had some ads. Like I kind of felt like, what more could I do?
Right.
You know, at that point, besides coming out to California and kind of solidifying yourself or whatever, you know?
Sure. Living the dream.
That kind of like catapulted me into like, okay, how am I going to survive in California? It's like, I need to make money. I don't want to move to California to work at a job,
Got you.
you know? So it was kind of like a give and take. Like, okay, I'll turn pro, but you got to pay me so that I can live enough to live out there.
Yep.
and,
Yep.
and try to grow this thing, you know?
Yeah. So that's what
yeah,
happened.
They offered me $300 a month,
Hey, not bad.
Oh.
and I was
300
like,
bucks.
For being pro?
yeah, man.
So it wasn't board no royalties, no nothing.
There
It
we
was just
go.
a,
You want to turn pro?
it was just a flat rate, no royalties, nothing.
I want to get into that later, but yeah, it was
Okay,
a flat.
okay.
It was a flat rate.
Got you.
You know, I ended up making friends with people, and one of those people from Chicago was Jarrett Berry.
Oh wow, sick.
Dude,
Really?
Jarrett, OG was the Chicago guy,
Okay.
like Ripper.
Yeah.
He ended up riding for Evil too, because he was kind of on H Street, and I think
Got
kind of
you.
everybody kind of pew, 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 like wherever he
Yeah.
ended up.
Yeah.
He had a part in the video too. Which
The
was a
Evil
sick part,
video?
yeah.
I gotta see this
Yeah, we
video.
should YouTube that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
He like switched tail slid the handrail, the Elkhorn,
Wow.
which at that
Sick.
point,
That's
you know,
crazy.
Yeah.
nobody was doing
Nobody
that.
did that for sure.
So Jarrett ended up meeting some people and going to San Diego State to college.
Okay.
My parents were like, okay, you want to go to California? You're going to go to a year of college. And I was like, okay, like that sucks, but I get it. So I stayed in Madison, went to a year of college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it ate away at me. But,
I'm sure.
You know, education's pretty damn important.
Got you.
This is when you turn pro?
Yeah.
So you turned pro, you finally like did it, and they're like, you need to go to school?
Yep.
Just a year. Is this community college or do
Yeah.
you got
Community college.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So that's,
I was studying, and I'll continue with this
sure.
down the road, but I was in my high school, they offered Japanese. And I could probably go back on this. Like my upbringing, my dad was an ESL professor, so it's English as a second language. So I grew up having a lot of exchange students in my house living with us.
Oh wow, interesting.
You know, not necessarily at the same time, but through my childhood. So
Gotcha.
I'm talking like Venezuela, talking Africa,
Wow.
talking Korea,
That's
two
amazing.
from Japan.
That's
like-
cool. You were getting like culture all in
Oh,
your
it's awesome.
own house.
It was awesome.
It's amazing.
Like, you know, that helped me become a big part of what I am now in terms of like not seeing color and like understanding different cultures, and we're all here together, you know?
yeah.
Like, you know, it was cool to get that at a young age.
Well, especially at your own house,
Yes.
right? Like where you live.
I mean,
these
they
different
were
kids are
cooking
coming
their
in.
food,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
amazing.
talking their talk, but eventually,
Yeah.
like, my high school ended up offering Japanese.
Oh,
At the time, I had Japanese exchange students. So I was like, okay, like, I kind of knew a little bit of Spanish, you know, and growing up in southern Texas a little bit and stuff. Like,
okay.
So Japanese just interested me. You
Yeah.
know, like it was cool.
It's great timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'll go back onto my plan here in a minute, but like, you know, just so basically, you know, I ended up going to a year of college
Okay.
while I was pro. But for me, like the part had come out, I was still skating and filming. You know,
Right,
like once your part comes out, what do you really do?
Right.
You know?
What's the next step?
So yeah. So like, you know, I gritted my teeth a little bit, but I got it.
Okay.
You know, so then I end up moving with Jarrett out to San Diego to this house of other San Diego State people.
Okay.
So there's this guy, John Grow, Brian Reed, who we'll talk about.
Yeah.
And then this guy, Adam, Lon, and then me and Jarrett. We
Okay.
lived in six of us in a 3-bedroom. I should say 2-bedroom house and a garage that you could live in.
Got you. Okay.
What part of San Diego were you
By
staying?
San Diego State.
Oh, okay.
Everybody was going to San Diego State. So
Okay.
that's where we lived by. And yeah, so I ended up, you know, moving out to Cali, you know, and just scraping by.
Right.
Jared and I actually shared a room, so I was paying $150 for a room.
You had
and
150
then
left.
150 left. So that was like gas and like
Food.
ramen.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Ate
You
up
know?
real quick, you know?
Yeah.
And I should, now looking at Kelly, thinking for a second, I should include that somewhere along the line I sent a tape to Etnies.
Oh.
Okay.
And Etnies had picked me up with sending me boxes and stuff.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So
So-
you had shoes. You had the whole kit.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Wow.
Is that Don
And then-
Brown sending you shoes?
Yes.
It's not nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out Don. He's probably doing a handstand right now.
Who knows what Don Brown's doing?
yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a successful conversation with that dude.
What do you mean?
He,
It just turns into wackiness?
yeah.
Or-
It's always fun.
I've been
You
trying to
know,
have a call
like-
with him for 2 weeks now. It's been insane.
I'll get back. I'll get back to that too.
Imagine having meetings with him every week,
Oh
dude.
my
It's the
God.
best. It's the best.
So yeah. So now I'm out in San Diego,
Yeah.
like filming. You know, like getting the taste of the.
About what year is this?
This would have been end of '94.
Okay. 94.
No, summer of '94.
Summer
Summer
94.
'94.
Got you. Okay.
You know, San Diego was popping. You know, it
At
wasn't
that time, for sure.
wasn't unusual to go to a schoolyard and see Donger
Ooh.
or Carney or John
John
Reeves.
Reeves.
Like,
Wow. So you're becoming homies with all
you
these
know,
guys.
Like I was just like,
So sick.
you know,
Wow.
like to this day, like, you know, that live video, watching those dudes
What a great video.
kill it, like it's just amazing, you know.
dude.
Sheffy, I'd see Sheffy down there, and like
I love that.
it was really,
Legends.
So rad.
yeah, once again surreal, you know.
Yeah, man.
So I'm just skating, doing my thing, and I end up running into Mark Johnson.
Okay.
Actually, it was another filmer guy. This guy Ted was filming Mark, but he also hung out with some of the guys that I was getting to know.
So Mark was up north, right?
No, he was in San Diego.
He was living in San
This is
Diego.
right when he moved to San Diego, and
Got
he was like,
you,
this
okay.
guy was like, oh, you gotta skate with Mark, and
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
ride for Maple and all this
I was
stuff.
gonna
And
say
I'm just
Maple.
like,
He was already skating for Maple.
yeah.
And filming probably seven. Wait.
Yeah, this
Seven
is
Steps
prior
Ahead.
to Seven Steps Ahead.
Prior.
Yeah.
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 Of course, I'm just like, there's so many good people. I'm like, yeah, it's freaking Mark or whatever, you know.
But then you meet him and skate with him.
Yeah, no, we had a good time,
Yeah.
and I witnessed him pull out a lot of hair.
I could imagine.
Coming to San Diego was just kind of crazy
I could imagine.
within itself, you know.
And now you skate with Mark Johnson, Maple, and then was it Mark who got you on Maple, or how did that work?
Well, the guys who were running Maple
Uh-huh.
were from La Mesa, which is right next to San Diego State, basically.
Got you.
So I ended up, I think, meeting the dudes or at a party or something, like whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, eventually I'd had enough of evil, mag, whatever. I
Okay.
was just like, I want to spread my wings.
Got you. Right.
know,
Right.
Because I think I knew what I was getting into,
Right.
you know.
Did Maple, was that your first choice because you knew those guys already, and did you go and talk to them, or how did that conversation?
At that point, like what Maple could have become was huge because they had a wood factory. Charlie Watson Laminates.
Yeah.
He's the one that they all kind of came to and started Maple. So like,
Got you. Right.
it was pretty sweet. I mean, imagine the margins.
Yeah,
Oh,
huge.
sure.
You know,
Hell yeah.
do the switch to maple.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, though, to kind of go full circle here, I had introduced Brian Reed to Mag, and he had done some filming at through Evil and whatever.
Okay.
And I need to put in at some point right when I moved out there, I ended up skating with Marcel Johnson a lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Wow.
so MJ and I were tight because he lived right down the street, and he's Mr. freaking East County, San Diego, like, so I got to meet a lot of people through him, and he was ripping, and yeah, so then did the maple thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right away, like, I think they realized what they had, So it was like me, Carney, Mark. Who else was on that at that time? I don't want to leave anybody out. I feel
It happens.
but yeah,
does
it was a pretty heavy team.
Yeah.
I mean, for the maple part, I think Chad Knight had a part in Seven Steps to Heaven.
Okay.
Snyder too.
Snyder.
Yeah.
Snyder.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah. Gosh, this is where we come into my side of it. Is like right when that video, they're like, we're gonna make a video.
Okay.
So I ended up flying back to Wisconsin, and I was skating back there and filming with Steve Celentani, who is also from Madison, I should include.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
troubleshooters.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Steve's a rad dude, and like,
We'll get into
Oh, yeah,
troubleshooters
yeah,
and
we
stuff
get
too.
into
For
sure.
But, like,
real. Yeah.
so yeah, I fly back. I'm like trying to just kill it because I knew Mark was gonna kill it. I knew everybody was like hungry.
Why fly
know.
back to? Why not stay in San Diego? What was
there
going
was-
on there?
There was something going on. It was like I can't even remember what it was, but there was like some reason to go back.
Okay.
I miss my parents a lot. Like miss my friends. I mean,
Got you.
it's easy for you. You guys grew up
Totally.
here,
Sure.
Yeah.
but when you
Sure,
move
sure.
from somewhere and you leave everybody, like it's different.
Yeah, I was wondering because like since you knew all the spots back there, was it maybe easier to film back there in
Well,
Wisconsin?
it wasn't that.
or
I went
no?
back. I can't remember. It was like
Okay.
something. So
Got you.
I'm back in Wisconsin, and this is like, just Switch was kind of just getting really crazy, and this is leading up to something. So like I had Switch ollied like this. There's like a 5-stair rail. I don't even know if I'd seen anybody Switch ollie rail at this point.
Over the rail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that like front side, Switch ollie, the 7-stair backside, and then there's a spot. It's like is it 11 or 13 stairs, but it has like a sideways rail. So I ollie the rail, go to switch ollie it. I'm just like, I wanted to like switch flip it or something. I'm like, I got to go crazy, and I end up switch ollieing it. Somehow like my board just falls away and I roll my ankle. And basically it's like full speed off like 13 stairs,
Oh.
roll my ankle, and the side of my ball on my ankle hit the ground and split.
Oh shit.
So like I instantly like try to stand up, and then Aaron was still there, pushed me back down because he saw blood
Oh my god.
coming
It
out.
came through your skin.
Well, no. So this is so I didn't end up breaking anything, but it would have been better if I broke something. So I ended up
That's what they always say.
basically,
Right,
like,
right.
tearing everything, and
Yeah.
so I end up going to the hospital. Basically I remember like laying in the bed, and the doctor was just kind of like, it would have been better if you broke something. This is a bad injury. Like you might not ever basically skate again.
They always.
So,
They say
I
that
remember
shit.
I was just like crying,
Yeah,
just like
Right.
That's
no,
traumatic.
you know,
Fuck yeah, dude.
like I'm just
life
starting
flashing
to
before
like,
your eyes.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm just
I'm
starting to like.
Totally.
So then I'm like tore up. Everybody else is clocking footage.
Right. You're
So
trying
then-
to recover.
Yeah, I mean it took me about a year
Okay. Okay.
to even like get back 50%.
Right.
So that part to me like was like my 50% part.
Got you.
Like
okay.
it was like
you did what you could.
balancing, trying to like survive to come back, but also like risk enough to try to like somewhat put a part together,
Right.
somehow.
Yeah. So you weren't exactly. It sounds to me like you weren't exactly happy with that part.
No,
No, not at all.
because prior to that, like I loved the mix of like doing tech tricks, manis, but then also like jumping off something,
Sure.
you know, which like you know, another funny story is like Sports Arena in San Diego. It's like a super popular spot.
The triple set.
Yeah. So I'm riding for Evil, and I was like, my trick at that point was like switchback 180.
Okay.
I could have done it off a building.
That was your.
That was just, you know, you have
Yeah.
your tricks.
Yeah.
You know, and like I remember like riding for Evil, and I was like, I want to go switchback 180 Sports Arena.
The double set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the photographer there was like, you know, oh, like Jason Rogers only like switch ollied it. Poof. You know, get out of here.
Yeah,
So
like,
then,
you ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then like fast forward a couple weeks, I was like bummed because I'm like, I'm freaking do it. Like I'm not even tripping. Like let's go. You know, and I hadn't even seen Sports Arena. I seen it in videos, but I was like, I can do it.
You got that.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Wait, who was writing you off and saying nah?
I don't want to throw people under the bus.
I mean, this is a long time ago.
I know.
Yeah, this is people
So-
grow, but you know people still hate.
Yeah.
That shit's wild.
Well, so this guy Nico,
Okay.
he had worked with Mag
Hmm.
through I think some of the past stuff and whatever.
Nico Archimedes.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't have a relationship with the dude. I just don't like talking
Totally.
bad on people.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
the moment.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. I mean, he probably saw that as like the only thing that could be done. Switchback 180.
Yeah,
like
I
that's out of that's out of control. Like
Yeah.
you're tripping.
Yeah.
So then fast forward a couple weeks, he finally like was like, okay, let's go do it. Because
Okay.
I think they were like, we need to add, you know,
Right. You
dates
said
coming.
You got this. Let's do
Yeah.
It.
Yeah. So I show up, he shows up. Still to this day, I've never ollied it. Like I just went straight, switchbacks 180, landed probably like 5 feet after it, bolts, and just shot out.
Okay.
And he was like, okay, so I'm gonna shoot it from over here. You know, like
Hell
it
yeah.
changed real quick.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, so then whatever, like a couple tries later did it.
Did it quick.
You know, yeah.
Wow.
I've got every attempt. I've managed to
Amazing.
keep a lot of like just random footage. You
I
know?
love
Totally.
that, bro.
That's rad.
And I only speak of that because that ended up in, I think, Marcel Johnson's part in Trilogy, was it?
He did have a.
No, he
was
didn't
that
have a
in?
part
No,
in
no,
Trilogy.
no.
What,
20 shot? No.
what video?
What was Marcel John?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it 20 shot?
What came first?
The egg. Had to have. Or is the chicken just going to materialize?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Marcel Johnson had a part.
Okay.
Can't remember. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
MJ.
don't.
But yeah, that footage ended up in it just because some people talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
it's kind of who was
gotcha.
that dude? Switchbacks, you know. whatever.
Right.
Also within the mix of that time, there's so much.
This
stuff
was
that
an
went
evil
on.
ad, by
Yeah.
the way.
It was a
Yeah.
Sequence.
Yep.
Right? Yeah,
Gotcha.
I remember that.
Okay.
And then even like to add into that, like Ed Dominic, Photo Ed, was part of all that mix at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he hit me. I had seen him or whatever. He's like, I want to get into photography, you know. So I was like, okay, you know, let's go shoot some pictures. So like, we went and shot like I did like nollie flip into the chain to bank. It's like this is like a long time ago. I had an
Okay.
evil ad of it, but like this is a long time ago. And then we shot like a couple more pictures, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a couple, you know, like a week later, everything's developed. He's like, none turned out.
Oh, man.
I think I did the nollie flip for an ad. I think I went back and I've done that probably like 6 or 7 times.
Seriously?
What?
You had to like probably film it
That's
and do all
gnarly,
that
dude.
stuff.
You
Wow.
can
That
get so
spot
broke
was
up at
that spot was no joke, dude.
crazy.
So that brings into Ed into the whole picture because he ended up going to be the photographer for Maple,
Right.
team manager, photographer, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never skated that spot. I always wanted to go and just look at it.
Yeah, I mean it's gnarly, but like the chain is not that high.
Yeah.
It's just if you commit it.
You got to commit.
Yeah,
You know?
it's
Sure.
steep bank.
That shit ain't for
Yeah,
everybody,
it's,
bro.
Yeah.
it's
not.
steep.
Like just to ollie it, full commitment, and
Yeah.
if you mess up a little bit, you're getting smoked. Yeah,
I mean, obviously, no, Tom Penny, you know,
Iconic,
put it down there, you know,
iconic
but like,
session right there.
yeah,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
There's a lot of gnarly stuff done there, you know.
Oh my God. For
Dude,
sure.
people
Somebody
always-
knows. JT Alt's like nose wheelied down it.
Kickflip,
didn't he?
Yeah.
kickflip nose
Kickflip
manual.
Yeah.
nose manual.
Dude, Ken Russell, like back when he did the whole thing.
Yeah, Cam was just like, screw
Shout
that.
out.
I'm doing the whole thing.
Yo, shout out Canton, bro.
Yeah.
He was one of my all-time favorites back then.
I just
Legendary.
talked to him yesterday, man.
Man, how's he doing? He's good.
It was his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
Happy
Canton.
Friday.
This is actually a week later. This is
Yeah.
coming by, but yeah, happy birthday, Canton, bro.
Happy belated.
Appreciate that, man.
We
Still
gotta
got to get him on.
Oh.
Yes.
A lot of people mentioned got to get on the show, but you know,
Yeah.
he's
The
one
list.
of them for sure.
He is.
He's building skate parks now. Amazing.
What was the craziest thing you saw go down at that spot in person?
I really liked Chad Knight's fakie flip.
Damn.
God, that's gnarly.
Nollie flip, I could imagine.
Because you're kind
Fakey
of
flip.
because your back is kind of
Yeah.
to it. But that was
Pitch.
Chad's trick.
Got you, Chad
Like
Knight.
Yeah.
you know, we all have our tricks.
Yeah,
like,
man.
When you, I can't remember the footage, but when you skated, did you go straight at it or did you go a little bit
Yeah,
of an
see,
angle?
Tom, everything he did was at an angle.
Yeah.
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 The OGs, we all did it going straight. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know,
You got to pop way early, obviously.
and it's
going
not
straight.
trying to take away from anybody
No, but
that
he-
did anything.
It
It's just-
depends what trick, right?
it-
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind of just switches it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did Chad fakey flip going straight into it?
I think so. Yeah.
Dude, that is
Damn.
so nuts.
That's super
Yeah.
nuts,
To
bro.
fakey flip straight over something,
know.
anything, and then
Yeah.
land into that bank.
Yeah.
And then right off the curb at the end.
You got to make that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was my last session there. I think I was doing like nollie 360 over it, came down and like fell kind of down the ledge and like at the bottom, like felt like it ripped my butt cheek.
Oh,
You know, because you're like going off a
Yeah,
curve, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think this spot is done.
Oh, dude.
I'm good.
That was a close call right there. Whoa.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that was
Anyway, yeah.
evil and all that stuff.
That was kind of the evil transitioning into Maple.
okay.
So everybody's out, you know, doing the video. You know, I
7
was
steps.
I was not super pleased with my video because what had happened to me after this injury was I lost my ability to squat.
You didn't have the
So
flexibility
yeah,
in your ankle to bend
my
down.
ankle comes off the ground. I mean, still to this
Okay.
day, like
Really?
it comes
Same.
off the ground.
I'm the same
Back
way.
then, were you actually
it-
doing any physical therapy for that, or were you just letting it heal?
Unfortunately, when the injury happened, I was broke. So I didn't do the proper
Right.
thing. I think
Right.
somebody along the line was like, "Go walk in the sand," because the sand is always
You're just trying to do your own
changing.
thing
Yeah.
and get it back up to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shame.
Like it's funny because I can watch my footage prior to the injury and then after, and it's like you can relate to this, but I tell people if you watch those skiers that go down and they through the air and they land like one ski and then kind of on one foot,
Uh huh.
and that's kind of what it feels like.
So you had to kind of adjust your whole skating
yeah,
and how you
after-
did shit.
After that, like any of the footage you watch, like it's rare that I land like 2 feet on the board.
Wow. Okay, I never
know?
noticed, but I'm gonna go back and
Yeah.
check that out. Huh.
So
Because
so-
one foot is going to be landing like kind of
Yeah.
on his toe.
yeah, if I squat a proper squat, I fall backwards.
Wow.
Still to this day?
Yeah.
God damn.
I did like 2 solid years of PT, yanking it, stretching it, tissue, muscle, like
It just won't. It's locked.
it. Yeah, it
Or
is
you
what it
have to
is.
like really re-break it and restructure it to like bring it back. But we're so older now. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point?
yeah. What am I trying to do?
Yeah.
I'm back. No.
So
and you've learned how to skate deal with it.
yeah, you
Yeah,
know, it's
you
definitely
adjust.
The thing it took away from me was the ability to kind of jump down stuff
Yeah.
because I really enjoyed mixing it in,
Right.
and I think the first time it kind of sunk in, and this is fast forwarding a little bit, but like I was trying to shoot a pro spotlight with Grant Britton, and there's this like 4 big blocks set in San Diego. Maybe it's 3 or 4, I don't even know. Big block set, but I was nollie flipping it, landing bolts every time, but I could not roll away.
Damn.
Like I'm 40, 50 times, just bolt.
couldn't
Just could not
stand
roll
up on
away,
it.
and I was just like, you know what? Like my body just cannot do that. I'm gonna have to shape shift and like
Yeah.
Adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think this through. You know,
God damn.
I always loved technical skating, but that was when I was like, okay, this is
Right.
something I guess I got to do now.
Right.
like,
Wow. That's
you know,
that
just kind of
sucks,
fall
man.
into that.
So the 7 steps comes out. You
Yep.
weren't really happy with it. So
I mean,
maybe
it's
that
just-
it's
it is
not what
it
you
is,
it's not what
know?
you wanted
Yeah,
to set
it's
out and
not-
do.
it's not- yeah.
For sure. I have video parts that I'm not
Same,
psyched on.
same.
You know, we all do, I
You
think.
know?
But so, and then 7 steps. And then did that you said you had to adjust your skateboarding and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I'm sure that took time also to heal
So
up from
that's-
that. So you're 100%. And
Yeah. From then on, like I was just filming with Steve Celentani, just just working on stuff, you know.
Sure,
And he
sure.
always had this vision of doing a video. I think even back in Wisconsin in his basement, he was like, "I want to do a video called Troubleshooters." So we're filming.
no, I'm just wondering because does Troubleshooters come because there's Maple and then there's A-Team.
Yeah.
Troubleshooters came in between those
Yeah.
two.
Yep.
Okay.
I was
Gotcha.
on Maple during Troubleshooters.
During Troubleshooters. So Troubleshooters came out because Maple, when did that start? Like 97-ish or something.
Yeah, I think Maple started. It's 96.
96. And then you got
Because
on 18.
there was like a really early team with like Muska on it, and I think Mark, like really early team, and then it kind of like changed.
A-Team happened really quickly after that.
Mark wanted to leave and go to A team, so there's so many like
We got to talk
Things
about
that happen.
troubleshooters too.
I know. I was
No,
just
no,
about.
no.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to go
yeah.
back to the Troubleshooters really quick before A-Team though. When the Troubleshooters and you were filming for that, which was a great video. I never really saw it. We reviewed it, didn't we? It came
Yeah.
up on the show not too long ago. But it was kind of. I was focused more on like what was going on around here. You know, were you happy with the Troubleshooters part then?
I'll explain it like this.
I take that as a no.
No, because in order to like understand and make Troubleshooter successful, some of the guys weren't as known.
Right.
Yeah.
So what Steve did was filter some of the pretty good footage to like Transworld, and so that kind of stuff got lost in the freaking
Interesting.
of Transworld. You know?
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I think Steve had a part in like the greatest hits. Stuff that I was really like stoked on. Like I did the first like manual kickflip to nose manual. Like I hadn't
Hell
seen
yeah.
anybody do a trick in the manual to like, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that like I wanted for my part, but it got
It got
Thrown
dispersed.
away,
Right.
Let me just.
In
I'm
the-
just thinking about something real quick, and maybe I'm wrong, but in that troubleshooters part, didn't you do the same? You guys did the same trick at the same spot. Nollie shove back nose grand revert. Don't you do that at Sarah?
he took it from me. Though.
Yeah, you guys both did the same trick
That's
at the
amazing.
same spot.
Never knew it. Never knew it.
See,
I just thought about that right now because I was like, that could be that trick and that part in slow mo.
he did it though. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys both did it.
Yeah.
Salt and
Amazing.
pepper, dude. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, that's all skateboarding is. Like,
That happens.
Like-
That's gonna happen.
Oh,
That's
no,
gonna continue,
totally.
for sure.
But
Back
I-
then you would
but-
talk about it, but it wasn't like what's been done here.
No,
like
it
is
was
now.
just like-
everybody knows.
This is like
I just-
years apart.
totally.
I just
Yeah.
thought about it randomly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was just going to tell you that I love that part back in the day.
Thank you.
Troubleshooters. I
Yeah.
grew up watching it before I went to school every day.
There you go.
I love the song. I love the whole vibe of the video.
Yeah.
Thought it was really rad.
LPSD.
Oh, yeah.
Hip-hop
Okay.
dudes,
Yeah.
Gosh, this is gonna be so scattered, but I feel like we should take a step back.
Where do you want to go now?
411.
Okay.
So
Let's take it
before
Kelly
this
loves
is-
this.
Yeah.
This is so yeah. I was in the first 411. I had a trick. How was it like? I was in the switch dance section. The switch frontside flip over this thing. And I think it might have been like issue like 3 or 4.
Damn.
That's a little early for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
My bad.
So that's when we call it 411.
411.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Maple video. Then it was I had a rookie's spotlight, whatever.
Okay.
The 4-1 thing happened before the Maple video
Got you.
because I had ended up skating with Marcel, and this is kind of the funny things that skateboarding will lead you to being in a spot, doing something here, there. I ended up, Marcel and I went up, met Pat Chinita and his brother, Bilu, and got into the world,
Skate
the
park.
OG world skate park and skated.
Oh, God damn. I always wanted to go there.
I had done some tricks like switch alley, fakie 5-0, switch flip, like backswing nollie, switch 5-0, like.
And can we
just
put this
done-
into perspective? Like,
just done a
what
bunch of
year is
tricks.
this?
This is like
This is 90.
95.
I was going to say 90. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Just, and I'm not trying to name tricks, but basically
you.
what had happened was
There was a lot of
Those-
shit going down at that time.
Hell yeah.
those tricks somehow got to Socrates, got to Rodney, whatever.
Oh.
Planting seeds,
Right.
Fancy.
Rodney loves seeing new shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, but that footage is in my rookie pro thing is why I'm saying it.
Okay. So they
So,
saw
like-
it first, and then that came. then
Well,
you came out with the.
Yeah, I don't know, when they saw it,
Okay,
how they
okay,
saw
okay.
it, but I
Gotcha,
just know
gotcha.
at some point, because going back to the whole Mark leaving thing, Rodney had wanted me on a company. I think prior to that, he wanted to put me on one of the companies, and it wasn't going to work out.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Long
That's
story
dope.
short,
That's dope to be like. I mean, Rodney to be on his radar is pretty amazing,
No,
especially
no,
at that
it's-
time. and
it's
he
cool.
really goes for what he wants type of
Yeah,
shit.
no, it's
It's an honor.
Honor.
surreal.
Yeah.
The 4-in-1 thing comes out. I think I was still on Evil with that. I think
Okay.
because Marcel Johnson did the interview. Because I've always been like, I hate interviews. I'm
You
sitting
wanted
here
the
being interviewed.
you wanted the homie to
Yeah,
do it.
you can interview me, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started off. He's like, "What do you think of the OJ trial?"
Oh, really?
That was
my
like
God,
the intro
dude.
to my, and we just started laughing. And
I
that was
remember
like
that, dude.
the intro to the part.
Wow.
So yeah, I did like nose grind, nollie flip on a band, like all this stuff. Like it was a
Okay.
good thing, but it was like, dusted under the rug, or I don't know. It
Gotcha,
wasn't like
right,
a,
right.
a
Especially
hard
because it was a
hitting.
new video
Yeah,
magazine. It's like not
What's
everyone
next
got to
month?
see it. Yeah.
It's just like,
Sure.
Well, what'd you think
So
of the
then-
OJ trial?
It was classic. If you know Marcel, like he's just funny, dude. He's funny. So first that comes out, planting seeds, whatever, and then Maple. Mark ends up, going to A team.
Right.
Rodney and Mark asked me, and I said no.
You said no straight away.
This is when Mark went,
Why didn't you want to go?
because I go back to I'm a loyal dude. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to hop ship. I don't want to be that dude.
I get you.
So
Respectable.
so I went to, Maple, told the guys, I was like, I have another offer. I don't want to leave, but let's
Figure this out.
do this,
Yeah, okay.
Because at that point we had Louis was on the team, I think, and like Jerry,
Sue.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
like there was some possibilities,
Hell yeah.
Frank Harada was on, freaking Carney, I think was still on. Like it was,
You guys had a crew, yeah. Solid squad.
Wait, was Aaron? Did he go to Shorty's at that point?
it's somewhere, yeah, he had gone to Shorty's.
Okay.
I think you get the feeling when you're riding for a company that it's not going to work out. And
Yeah.
I was happy for him. Like, of course, you want your homie to skate with you and everything. But I was stoked for him to go do what he did.
I mean, that was a good move. Good, like that was kind of a weird one to do at that point because you didn't know what Shorty's was going to
Oh,
be.
but it put him on the map.
But it put him on the map. But I will say that his part in 7 Steps to Heaven was incredible.
Yeah. No,
That-
I mean, that video, I think, got looked over maybe, or everybody talks about Mark's part,
Yeah.
which was an amazing part. But then it kind of,
Intermission.
kind of gets rid of all the other parts.
Sure.
I liked Aaron. I always watched Aaron's part a lot. I mean, yours
Yeah.
as well. But I was like, dude, this guy he did 360 flip nose grind revert
Yeah.
on a. I was like, what the hell?
Tech.
This
And
guy's
to
insane.
show you how much I cared, I think Aaron was in the same boat. Like, I think I used some song for Grease in that.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I came, like, I didn't have a song. I just did not care.
Okay.
I think Aaron was the same thing. Like, there was a couple CDs in the studio where,
just
like,
use that.
playing
I
stuff.
thought Aaron.
and-
I can't remember what it was, but it was tight, dude. I remember
Yeah.
that. Oh fuck, what was it?
yeah, so I ended up with some Grease song. I just,
you were just like, yeah, whatever. Put it out.
whatever.
That's a hit back then. It's all good.
Prior to that, like, I guess video parts never really did anything for me.
Right.
Like, I felt like I had a super sick evil part. You guys didn't see it. Nobody saw it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, yeah.
so it gets to the point where it's like, what the hell are we even doing these things?
Yeah, I
you
can
know?
see that. I can see that.
Like, if
for
you're not
sure.
like on a super mega team that you want to watch, like, it's just,
Right.
whatever. I
Fell
might have
through the
seen it, I
cracks a
might have
little.
not.
Yeah.
So Mark leaves. I'm like going to the dudes, like, let's do something, like this guy, Brian Krezel, was doing the artwork. It was sick,
Hell
that
yeah.
board right there. Like, it had potential,
Yeah.
and
It fizzled.
I gave him like a year. I was like, let's try to do something. And it's just, those guys like to, drink and have fun,
Right. Right.
and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Which was another thing that, coming from Wisconsin, going to San Diego, like all the pros that I knew would like drink and party and like not do anything until like 3:00.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up, this is kind of going back to, I ended up going to Grossmont College because I would go to school all morning, get my homework done, and then meet everybody.
Right.
You know, and this is like I was still studying Japanese, and this is when you could go to Japan and teach English and make a boatload of money.
Wow.
So
Was that on your
that was
mind,
on my
maybe?
radar? Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of like the direction I was heading. If the skateboarding thing wasn't gonna, you can only survive off like $1,000 a month for so long. It's just like okay, like
Yeah.
pretty much broke.
Huh.
You know.
Interesting. Wow. So you did have a backup, which was nice. I mean, a lot of skaters
Yeah.
don't have that. They're not thinking ahead like
Well,
that.
I was just talking to Snyder on the way up here, and we were kind of talking about how skateboarding is this weird thing. So you look at all the other sports like basketball, football, baseball, like all these dudes go to college and then turn pro.
Right.
90-some% of them.
Sure.
You know, so they at least have education and something to fall back on. Where skateboarders, you know, we were taught drop out of school, skate, you might make it. If not, you work in the warehouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of ruthless.
100%.
You know, and I
Wild
think-
Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
whatever you make out of it, man.
So I really like the guys that do the CS EF. The,
the
college support education.
Yes.
Fund.
Yes.
Those guys are rad, and they're trying to promote a little bit more to it.
100%,
Which I wish
man.
more companies would kind of. I wish somebody at my point would have guided me a little bit better. You know.
And there's
And
people
it's-
out there now that you know that you could do it. There's the Walker Ryans and the Mark Suchus,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it's definitely
Big time.
possible. Yeah.
But about that
No
time, like I got my associate's degree, and skateboarding was just kind of like you get a sense that like this might be kind of growing pretty fast, because you go on
Sure.
tour, there's like 40, 50 people there. You go on tour, there's like 2,000. You're like, something's cooking
Something's
here.
going on. Yeah.
Skateboarding getting popular.
Yeah.
So let me bring it back
Yeah.
really quick, because you were saying that you wanted to see how that played out, Maple,
Yeah.
right? I'm trying to think, like A-Team, did that last a few years? Because you said you gave it a year.
The original guys, I think, was like Mark, Rodney, Chet, and Gershon.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I got put on afterwards.
A year later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I said, like I didn't want to be the dude just hopping.
You
all
were
around,
loyal,
like,
man. I understand. I respect that
sure.
for sure. I just didn't know how long A-Team lasted, though. It seemed like it lasted forever, back then, it seems like those companies, but 2-3 years?
I mean, by the time I got on it, I think Mark and I and Gershon were on some tour, got a box, open it up, and I'm just like looking at this stuff. I'm like,
It wasn't.
this ain't me, dude. And Mark's kind of agreeing, that this is just, and yeah, it was all this like
Yeah, it was short-lived.
It was
underground, like conspiracy theory
Yep.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think at some point we're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to ride for this. Like, it's
Right.
not. I'm not even stoked at all.
Yeah.
This is a good
Me-
team,
Stand
though.
by it.
Yeah.
Good team.
Well, meanwhile, the A-Team, Plan B, A-Team, there's a little thing there.
It ain't my thing.
Who was saying that? Danny Way?
Like-
I think Danny Way was
Danny
saying
Way
that.
was saying that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that.
Me neither.
Well-
I didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, that Steve Rocco came up with that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But you guys had those trick challenges in the magazines.
Oh, yeah. What was
Yeah.
yours?
Kickflip, nose grind, nollie flip.
Yep. That was
So-
insane.
Oh, so somebody would have to try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like $1,000
You get
if
$1,000.
you go.
That's amazing.
Did someone do that?
Yeah.
I was gonna. Some
What?
people did some of them.
Well, now they have.
Oh
but,
yeah.
You know,
No, back then
at,
I.
the-
like,
at that time.
at that time, I think nobody had done mine or Gershon's. I think
Oh yeah, because Gershon had the crazy.
he did that
one.
like over a pyramid, like the board goes in between your legs,
Oh,
and then like
Jesus.
plop it down.
Yeah, you pretty much
Oh,
credit
wow.
credit card yourself and then put it
Yeah.
back.
It has some.
It was wild.
Yeah.
He has a bag of tricks, bro.
It-
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Gershon's
Didn't
a
Chris
beast.
Cole enter that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
think
entered
Chris
it.
Cole entered it. He did, I think, Mark's like the
Switch
half
nose
cab,
grind.
nose grind, 180 flip.
Yeah. Switch
Yeah.
nose grind.
Something like that,
Half
yeah.
cab
God,
flip.
that's so good, bro.
And then
Crazy.
Chet's was the fakey Harvard Reaver, which
Mm-hmm.
randomly some dude at skate camp, he used to work at Element. He did it on a bank ramp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how Danny Garcia got discovered.
did he do his?
He did Rodney's nose mayo nollie
yeah.
tray.
Yes, that's
Dang.
right.
So a little interesting tidbit here is my trick that I went to go do was kickflip, backside, lip side, kickflip.
On what?
these ledges that were downtown San Diego.
Okay.
So I went down there, landing on it. Cop comes up and is like, "You're not doing it." And I'm feeling like the crunch. I'm like, "Fuck, I gotta get this done, you know?
Dude.
So then me and Steve went over to a school, and I was just like, I had in my mind, because I showed you guys my first ad was a kickflip, no slide, nollie flip, you know? Like I had it in my mind of this just like boom to boom, you know?
Yeah.
And so it just kickflip, nose grind, nollie flip. It just
I think that's an
went
upgrade.
down.
That same day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the same day.
Damn.
I mean, both tricks are hard, but kick
Yeah.
up nose grind nollie flip is a little
But to
tougher.
me, like,
Definitely.
I could, going back to when you have your tricks, you have them, you know? Like I could
Sure.
nollie flip, I have a nose grind, like
Clockwork.
I was
that's a
like
good
on
trick to
tour. That
have.
was like a trick I could
That's your
just
demo
do.
trick.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. It's a great
You
demo
know?
trick.
Hell
So
yeah.
to me, like, you know, kick flipping into it was like not that hard to get the nose grind and then nollie flip out. And it was
I
just
love
like,
that. It's good for him, and then nobody else could do it.
Yeah. at that time,
Nowadays, it's like,
We got to find the first person that did that on
After
and
the
we'll
fact.
give him $1,000. Or not,
You're gonna
not
give
us.
him-
No, not us. They team. They team. They team. Yeah. They team.
There was a time. There was a time period that you had to get this.
Oh,
done.
there
Yeah,
was.
yeah. It's between this time and that. Yeah.
Okay. Shit.
before I go to A Team, I was riding for Etnies, filmed the part for High Five, which I didn't even know, like, it was just like footage. Like, I didn't really, Dave Sloshbach was doing it.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that it would get like this notoriety, you know, like I would have actually filmed for it.
You
It
were
was
just
more
giving- you were-
like,
I feel like everyone had the
Footage.
same vibe probably too, though, right? Like everyone
Yeah.
on the team.
I think like, yeah, it was just kind of like, okay.
Give us footage and whatever it
Like,
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
These
filling it
people
out.
want footage. These people want footage. They want a photo. It's just
Sure.
like whatever, you know.
Yeah. You're
But
just out there
so
producing.
Etnies, you know, they had High Five, and then I remember it was Don or Steve Black was like, "We're gonna do this company called America," you know. So we want to ride for America, and I was like, as long as I'm getting shoes,
Right.
like cool, you know.
Yeah.
And it's in the same building, so you're not like team hopping, like you were
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Were they paying you back then too?
This is where it gets where I want to talk about. So then I'm going on tour, and you know, you have the same eyes I had back then. Like I'm sitting in shops, like looking at shoe walls. I'm like, board wall, I'm making money.
Mm-hmm.
Shoe wall, I'm not making any money.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's going on here, you know?
Yeah.
And this is the time I think like close to it that like DC had started. I think that whole buzz was kind of, why am I not getting some of this? You know?
Got you.
Shoes were buzzing.
So filmed a part for the America video. And I remember seeing Don Brown, I think at a trade show or something. I was like, what's up? You know, like, am I going to get paid? Like, do I have a future or whatever?
Sure.
Like, can I borrow $20? Like, you know, like I'm starving here. Like, you know, and I think he had done his Don Brown thing and like, blah, 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 and
Yeah,
like,
I did a headstand and walked
Yeah,
away.
you know.
Yeah.
and at that point I was like, I think I quit.
Wow.
Because I just didn't feel respected, you know?
Okay.
And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I think I quit shortly after that. And then it was funny because I had somehow, I can't remember, but I had gotten a box of Nikes when they were doing that
They started off
weird
their little-
turd shoe, whatever it was. I
It's
can't-
not good at all.
Right.
Yeah, so I got a box from them.
Is that when Chompy Omega was on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much called them and I was like, you guys don't need to do anything to your shoes. Just put out your shoes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, don't send me that. I want those. Like, that I skated in before I skated in Vans, you know?
Hell yeah.
But whatever. That project never really went
It didn't take
anywhere.
off, yeah.
And then Brian Reed, through his thing, was a filmer. And he was filming for Evil. Evil wanted to start a shoe company.
Right.
So he came. Brian and Adam McNatt kind of grew up together,
Yeah.
same area, which is a funny story. Like it was like the first night or two I stayed in San Diego. I woke up and where my bed was, I could see the garage, and there's a dude sleeping on the garage. It was Adam McNatt.
On the garage?
Yeah, like at an angle, like sleeping.
What you mean on the garage?
On the
Like,
roof?
Yeah, on the roof.
Sleeping bag or anything? What the hell?
Just
You give him a blanket? Yeah, a pillow?
yeah.
These are the things I want to know.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay,
Like,
Adam
why-
McNabb.
Was he on
Like,
his side?
why?
Was he
I
on his
know.
back?
Is he a back sleeper? Is he a side
Like, hand
stomach
behind-
sleeper?
like that.
Yeah. God damn it. Was
man.
101? 101 wasn't around at this point, was it?
I think it was.
Okay.
Because at some point that was who Rodney kind of wanted me to like kind of go that direction.
Interesting.
Not that I'm against
Oh,
it, but those
so
guys were like smoking and doing their thing. Like,
Sure,
I
sure,
didn't
sure.
fit in.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I told Rodney that. I was like, it's an honor, like, you know, but we're different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Rodney had to be on those tours too, and Rodney didn't fit in a lot of that shit. Either.
yeah.
That's true.
No, I agree.
Rodney was driving the van a lot
He
of those
was.
times.
But he was
Definitely.
Rodney Mullen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was not.
Right.
You know? So then Brian comes to me and is like, we're starting a shoe company. We're going to call it Evil Shoes. And I was like, "Er."
No.
I was like, I already quit Evil. I know who's involved. Like, no. I was
Were you
like,
telling him no because of the name? Like if they came at you with a different name at that time?
pretty much just because of the name.
Yes.
Because at that point, like, I think I had talked to somebody at DC and it wasn't, you know, they had their thing going. Like, I was just trying to figure out what,
Where you fit in.
yeah, you know, just trying to figure things out.
Sure.
And, you know, somewhere along the lines, like, I think it was kind of like, I'm not riding for Evil Shoes, but maybe if we call it something else, we
Okay.
can talk, you know?
Got you.
Which is when Osiris came up. He came up with a name,
Okay.
you know, and we had Nico there, his guy Dave Persway, who's super talented artist, did drawers, 8-ball, like all that old,
Oh, yeah.
old school
Sick,
stuff.
sick.
Like Nico was kind of working on the shoes, and that's kind of when I went in there. So it was me, Adam McNabb, Tyrone Olson, and Gershon Mosley.
Damn.
Was the original 4.
Crazy.
You know? So we're all in there working on our shoes. You know,
Right away, pro shoe. This one right
mine
here.
is right there.
This is the one you were working on.
Yes.
You
Wait,
went
so-
in for the first one.
So-
Look at that.
Real quick though, they did have Evil Shoes first,
There-
right?
There was a batch.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a batch.
So you weren't on that. You didn't
No.
want to do that, but when you changed the name, you're like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Well, he already
Well-
skated for Evil, all this stuff. You know, it's this board company.
No, for
Yeah,
sure. I
yeah.
just wanted to make sure that I was remembering that right,
Yeah.
that there actually was one batch of shoes that were evil.
Yep, no,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
They had some
Evil
ads, I
shoes.
think, even.
Yeah.
Damn Evil shoes.
So they ended up being Osiris. Mm-hmm. You know, I kind of was like, okay, like at that point, there was nowhere else I was really going to end up. Like, let's see if we can make it happen. You know,
Okay.
let's
Okay.
try to polish this, you know.
Did all 4 of you guys get shoes? Was it 4 or 5 people?
So I told them I did not want a pro shoe.
Oh.
'Cause
Okay.
To me, out of respect, like there was a select few that had a pro shoe at that point.
Okay.
And I was like, I do not want a pro shoe. So initially, they were all kind of called design by. So basically, like kind of endorsed
Right.
Yeah.
design by. It's
It's like
basically
your
skipping.
colorway.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
skipping the design by.
A shoe
whatever.
designed by Dave Mayhew.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Whatever. You know,
Sure.
so like,
No, it's respectable though. You thought there was other people that was more,
yeah.
you know, in
I'm,
line
I'm
for
all
shoes.
about the respect and roots. And like, I
100%.
think at that point, like, you know, I think Danny and Colin had a shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Sal obviously had his shoe.
You didn't feel like you fit up into
No,
that.
Not even close.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
those guys
I
are,
get you.
you know, they
What
are
year
who
did
they are.
Osiris? Not to cut you off. What year did Osiris? Was the
Pretty
inception?
much the inception was like end of 96, 97.
Because 97 was the first catalog, right? That
yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, yeah, everything
Before that.
takes a
for
while
sure.
Yeah.
to grow, you know,
For sure.
and to come
So
about.
many shoe companies were being like really born at that time. It's
Yeah.
so insane.
I think
And
like
a lot survived.
it was
DVS
like-
was like at probably 95.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
DVS.
to me, it was just like the writing on the wall. That, like I was saying, you know, you're seeing boards, but then you're seeing shoes, and like, why am I not getting paid?
Right.
You know, I'm doing the same thing for the board company. I'm doing for the shoe company.
Sure.
What's going on? You know,
and there was no pay at all?
no.
Oh, not even okay.
I didn't get a penny
right.
from
Wow.
Etnies
Okay.
or Emerica or anything. Like it's just
On the shoe walls, where there wasn't any like Nike and Adidas on the wall,
No.
was there? It was just skater-owned companies,
Yeah.
right? See, it's pretty
Like-
funny that back then skaters could be like, "Let's start our own company and let's run that whole." And
Because
then
it was open.
and
There's
it was
a
open,
void.
and then
void,
they
right.
now then bigger guys were like, "Oh, there's money to be made down there."
Right.
Yeah.
That's when
I mean,
Nike-
there was your Airwalks and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously Vans
Airwalk
always.
Vans.
Yeah.
Converse to a degree, but they weren't in the skate shops. You
A
Yeah.
had to
lot
get
of people
those,
were wearing
you
them.
know?
It's kind of like the Puma. It was like hard to find. You
Sure,
know?
Exactly.
sure.
Or the Stan Smith Adidas.
I find those at like the
like,
outlets and shit.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely scoop those up for sure. Yeah.
So you started designing, and my question was: Did everybody have a shoe that came on board with you guys?
So
everybody had a
everybody
design
had
by.
a shoe. No, Gershon wanted his own shoe.
Oh.
Adam wanted his own shoe,
Okay.
and Tyrone wanted his own shoe. I was the one who was like, "I'm not worthy yet. Like,
Okay.
I need to check off some more boxes. I feel
Respectable. I like it. I like it.
But within that, they wanted to, pay me and everything.
Sure,
so just
sure.
through my first contract, the way it's worded and all that stuff, it was more of a design by,
Yeah.
with royalties and whatever.
The second shoe
So-
was the Dave Mayhew shoe.
Nope.
Still?
Still did not want a shoe.
What the hell, Dave?
Took a little while.
So,
Okay. How long before the first shoe and second shoe? How long did that?
I mean, like the first shoe came out, and by the time that was like getting in the store, you're already working on your next
Already,
one,
right. Okay. So maybe a year,
if that even.
if that. Okay.
Yeah. By then, I'd kind of like, my first shoe was very simple. I was like, I want to keep this simple, skatable shoe,
Yeah.
And then by the time the second one came about, I was thinking more, I don't even know.
That one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab
So-
that.
So this is kind of like, there's a lot of gimmicky kind of stuff,
It's the Osiris that I remember.
and my thought pattern was to add something kind of gimmicky. So these like were supposed to like help with like the heat kind of,
breathing
hot
holes.
pocket kind of, let the heat come out.
Okay. Okay. Let me see real quick. I'm sorry. Thank you.
So that was kind of like, I knew there had to be a gimmick.
Yeah.
I was like, because I put out my first one, good skate shoe, it like wasn't really going off that well.
Yeah.
Weighs
So I was
2
like,
pounds.
it's gimmicks,
Yeah.
So that one I designed next,
Okay.
with the designer at Osiris.
I mean,
Can't remember, that one was with Nico. I know that.
oh yeah. I mean, look at the contrast between the two.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just less than a year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
But like starting a shoe company, the bottom, the lasts are expensive.
Hell yeah.
So you got to be careful,
Right.
how you're going about it,
Definitely.
100%.
So it wasn't at that point that, you would find different tops of shoes with the same bottoms.
Yeah.
Yep. Damn, it's a heavy shoe.
Thanks.
No, but all the shoes
the
back then. I mean,
time.
DVS. I skated the Huff shoes, and
Yeah.
they were monsters, man.
Yeah.
But I loved them.
They were working.
But
They were
it is-
working. Yeah,
It's what came in the box.
exactly.
Was
know
there
what I'm
any?
saying?
What was the inspiration? Was there any inspiration from like that shoe?
No.
It was just like, let's just design
I
something.
always love a toe cap.
Okay.
So all my shoes had a toe cap. And basically I just knew in my head, like, as a child from Wisconsin, having my mom being like, "You're always ripping through shoes." Like, I don't want to buy any
that
more
story.
shoes. Like, I knew I was like, it's got to have like good, eye
durability.
area, durability.
Yep.
So yeah, that was kind of like the thinking behind that was just somewhat of a gimmick, along with like just another kind of like.
A functionality,
Functioning
right?
shoe, yeah.
Too, totally.
But
Get
back
you.
then, it was like the lightest shoe, the whatever, the most grippiest sole. Everybody kind of was like going along those lines of
Sure.
like trying to market something else,
So you got the design by Dave Mayhew. You got the design by Dave Mayhew. Shoe number 2, and we're approaching the number 3.
Yes.
The D3, which we had, you have it bronzed up there, looking good.
They had it bronze.
Okay. Let's make that clear. Let's make that clear.
Pretty well known shoe.
Yeah, I would say so. So between shoe number 2 and shoe number 3, obviously you said, you start working on the next shoe and the other shoes coming out.
I told him I think I'm ready. 'Cause
Oh.
for some reason I
Okay.
felt like I had enough
Design buys.
stuff, like
Okay.
ads and all that stuff. I felt like I was at a place where like, okay, and other people were starting to have shoes, and I was like,
Right.
okay, like
Okay.
I enjoy the design aspect of it. Like,
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
Right,
you know?
right. So it's funny because in skateboarding, there's a lot of rumors that go along. There's a lot of stuff, and throughout the whole skateboard industry, what we hear is that you came in, you were late to the meeting and that was the only shoe left on the table and you got assigned that shoe. That's what we hear, that's what the whole industry was aware of, so how in your story, how does that, hold any truth or not? Like, what was the story behind that whole situation? And how did that even become, well, go ahead, tell us your
Was I
side.
late coming here?
No, you were fucking right on time, man. A little early too.
So,
Yeah, you're actually an hour early.
like,
Yeah.
my wife loves this one the most because she's heard it from people. Like, I am always on time.
Okay.
I'm early.
Got you.
Throw 2 kids in the mix, I'm still on time.
Okay.
Like, that's just the way I've always been. So my wife just loves that. She just thinks it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to understand how it all came about is to, put yourself in the position of being in different countries, in different skate shops, looking at shoe walls. And to me, all I saw was safety.
Okay.
Like, it was kind of like repetitious, you know? And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I want something buck wild.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I get a chance to do this. If it doesn't work, I'll probably get another chance to do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. At that point, like, you're just on a bomb, you just do the next
Oh,
one.
you're rolling the
You know,
dice.
Yeah.
So I had it in my mind, country after country, store after store, looking at shoes, like, it was all very safe. So in my mind, I was like, I want a shoe that not only pops off the wall, but like you could see somebody from a block away, like other side of the street. Like, I can see that he's wearing that shoe.
Okay.
This was all in my head before I even came up with the concept.
Okay.
So what happened was I'd come off a tour, and a lot of times I would just like put my board away. Like, I'm not skating for a little while. Like,
Gotta
I'm done.
decompress.
Yeah. Because you can only do like your tricks so many times.
Sure.
Like, that was one thing that always got at me, was just the repetition, Like, you show up at a spot, and you're like, okay, I got that over there, got that over there,
Yeah.
I got that there, let's go.
Right. Especially when you're on tours doing demos and stuff like that, you're just kind of repeating the same tricks,
So basically, I'd come off tour, and I lived in San Diego right between by Fashion Valley Mall, and there's Mission Valley Mall, 2 big malls, shoe stores. I would go in there and just look, and things just pop out at you. And what had happened was I was in Sports Chalet in Mission Valley Mall. I can remember this
Sports Chalet.
like it was yesterday.
Okay.
And the way they had their wall was like huge wall of like running, whatever shoes, soccer, baseball, whatever, you know. And then around the corner, they had a little area with hiking boots.
I was gonna say hiking. Yeah.
So like every time I'd gone in there, I'd pretty much just looked at the shoes, picking up, looking at materials, just trying to think this thing through. And I went around the corner, and there's this hiking boot that had on the toe, it had the metal kind of not loops, but you just like put it around like the hiking boots. It's like a hook kind of.
Yes.
And then at the top, it had 2 big holes.
Okay.
That you just put your laces through.
Huh.
And I was like, damn. I was like, that's kind of sick. Like, and then instantly I had this vision of just them like tear dropping down the side. And that was like
in a pattern type. Yeah.
It just hit me.
Okay.
And I hate to bust your story, but me being late to the meeting never happened.
Okay.
First of all, Osiris never had meetings like that.
No.
Ever.
Okay.
You can ask
like, hey, here's your shoes. Which one do you guys want?
You can ask any rider.
How does something like that become a thing? How does something like that just travel through the whole industry, the whole skate world? Like, that's a story.
Because
I mean, that's
where does it start from? How does it gain legs?
I can compare it to the climate change and the wildfires we're having right now. Like, these fires start somewhere and they just
go.
They just go.
Right.
So one person says like, I could go around, I could leave here and be like, man, I started the 9 Club. It's my idea.
Yeah.
I might get a couple people that might start popping, and then next thing you know, like you hear back, like, oh, I started. You're like,
Dave Mayhew started
No,
the
he
nightclub.
didn't. No, he
was that?
didn't. You know, like,
Yeah.
What was that one
It's
game in like elementary school? You would like whisper to
Game of
someone's-
telephone.
Yeah,
it's a
and then
telephone
you come back
game.
around, you're like, what
Right.
the hell was that?
Yeah.
It's not even close. It's
that's kind of like, and I got to paint this picture. Okay.
Sure.
The design kind of was in my head. So I call Brian Reed, and I need to explain something about Brian here first.
Okay.
So Brian was a filmer,
Yep.
you know, and then how he became owner, part owner, was that after Osiris had started, somehow nobody had trademarked the name or the logo.
Oh, typical skaters.
His dad is in advertising, and somehow he had ended up getting the trademark and the name.
Okay.
And this is like post production, so there's millions of dollars have been spent already.
Oh, wow.
So he comes in, he calls me, and he's like, dude, he's like, you will not believe it. And he's like, I'm in. He's like, I got it in. So he went in and ended up getting a percentage of the company.
Okay.
And he made up the name too, right?
He did.
He brought the name to the
But-
table, yeah.
Oh, the name,
know.
and then he trademarked it,
Yeah.
right.
and he had no ownership at all prior to
No,
that.
Okay.
he's just a filmer.
Got you.
He had never designed a shoe, never designed anything.
Okay.
That is when Osiris kind of kicked into gear.
Oh, okay.
Because to me, I was like, Brian and I were close, very close. And I was like, we got somebody in that's going to speak for us.
Okay.
You know, otherwise we weren't in the meetings.
Yes.
And I should go back to Gershon, why he left so quick. I remember coming up to the office and Gershon super pissed. Just like, they won't show me the books. They won't show me anything. And I was just like, whoa, like, what's going on? He's like, fuck it, I'm done. He's like, they won't show me anything.
Like his royalties
Yeah.
or whatever. It's yeah.
You get a check.
Sure. Who knows?
I could write
see
you.
the
I could,
explanation for this check.
I could
Right.
write you a check. You know.
Yep.
Which always puzzled me. Not to backtrack, but going into board royalties. Do you know how many boards your boards made? Or
Yeah,
like how many boards were made?
they
Like I didn't know. I
Right.
never knew. Like we made 10,000 of your boards and you sold this many.
Right.
And we promoted this many. Like I just got checks.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So it's like,
Who knows?
It's yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of skate companies could say that they were doing that as well.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
You get
saying.
you get a royalty check and you don't know. There's no explanation. There's no board sales. There's no nothing.
Right.
Because a lot of people were asking for that. So if you're not asking for it,
Yeah.
then you're not going to get it.
Even
Yeah.
the shoe thing, when you get like a colorway or this or that, they're just getting, here's this check.
Shit's changed dramatically.
No,
I mean, we're in a
see-
different day and age now that comes with the territory. But
That's yeah.
prior, what were you about to say?
Do you think the companies get like offended if you ask them something like that?
It
I
should be
think-
nothing you should be getting offended over because it's just like you wanting to know
Totally.
the breakdown.
You
But
have.
do you think
they-
that is something that they
You
come?
can't care. You can't care.
Yeah.
You gotta
I mean,
be
they're-
like,
they're
you're
using
looking
your
out for-
name.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if
but
you have
like
a contract with them, it should be completely transparent.
No, but I totally, and I'm not on their
I'd
side.
say some of them, yes, would get offended, but that's their problem.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
you're like Gershon's getting pissed, and they're like, well, why aren't they showing him?
You guys are missing a point. Is they're betting on stupidity.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
right.
you're a dumb skateboarder.
If you let it happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean that's kind of their. We're pawns in this game.
But even the contracts
You
that
know?
that skaters get are really one-sided, usually.
Yes.
You know, in favor of the company, not the skater.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you're riding
That's
for.
always going to be the case.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you're riding for. I'll just say Maple. I don't want to say anybody
Yeah,
else's
yeah,
sponsors, but like
for sure.
you know, like here's Maple. We made 10 million this year. Here's Dave. He made 12,000.
Right.
You know, you never got like their side of it.
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
you had no idea. Like you'd show up and it's like, I mean, I'd show up to Osiris. It was like car dealership, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Range Rover. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like
I
it
mean, as
happened quick.
far as them giving you the information on the company, that's something different. I think you knowing your information based on your pro shoe, without a doubt, you should know that information. But
Yeah.
as far as like, I mean, I think you could probably find out exactly what the company did anyways, because it should be public record, right? Maybe not.
no,
If it's,
Yeah, I don't
it's
think so.
publicly
it-
traded.
If it's
Yeah, that's
publicly
if it's
traded,
traded.
yes,
Excuse me. If
yes,
it's traded,
yes,
yes.
yes. But I agree with Jerron though. It's like, the internals of the company, don't really need to be discussed with the skater, but anytime they're using your likeness or your name to sell product, like
For
I
sure.
feel like you're entitled to the breakdown and the report.
And,
for
and
sure.
the fine folks at Osiris were all about like internal feeding and money exchanging and stuff.
Got you.
So
Got you. Okay.
they were publicly traded within
Oh,
the
were they?
company.
Oh, with,
There you go.
perfect. Okay. So getting back, so he never trademarked. Oh, he got the trademark. He was in. You thought you thought that was a good thing. You were like, now we have a skater that's going to be talking in our language.
So we're getting back into the time of troubleshooters. So I was skating with Smolik, Lil B.
Yeah.
Like all these heads in San Diego were just like mixing.
Sure.
And once that happened, and Gershon left, and then Adam left. And then we put Canton on because we were skating with Canton a lot, and Canton's just like, he's like my big brother, dude. Canton's the sickest. So, getting Canton on, and then Canton obviously knew Smolik and Little B. They were all tight. So like it all started like forming,
Got you.
And then Chad Knight and Scott Pizzell.
Yeah, man.
Those guys were homies, and
The Storm, Jerry C.
Jerry.
Yeah.
So like his positioning in the company definitely like helped out, but I don't want people to to confuse the fact that he weaseled his way in versus like threw up money.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Because it's
He found a loophole.
it's all
That's a huge loophole.
your life is based on a lot of your character, your maneuvers.
There you go.
And that's like character right there.
Got you.
So, going on to the D3, which is the D is Dave, 3 is my third shoe.
Third shoe, yeah.
Which
Lucky number 3.
Brian cataloged on the computer. That was what he did it as. It wasn't me,
Okay.
because I'm very honest with all this,
Sure.
But what had happened was I saw this hiking boot, had the vision, called Brian, and tried to explain it to him over the phone. And trying to explain it over the phone is not the best way to try to describe a shoe.
Sure.
So I told him about like the lace loops, the whole wave following the lace loops, kind of like, everything you see here.
Yeah.
Like was what I was talking about,
Okay.
And so what had happened was he had said, he's like, I got it. Our whole motto there was the direct influence.
Okay.
So like everything was rider influence, like everything. The offices were downtown San Diego pretty much. Like it was in the heartbeat of what was going on.
Right. You could stop by.
And not this can get mixed in, but to show my level of commitment, like when the first container came in, like I went into the warehouse, sorted shoes out, got everything straight to start filling orders. You know?
Okay.
Like I was.
You were in the trenches.
Once I commit, I'm committed.
Okay.
But yeah, so the shoe, like I called Brian, described it, and Brian went on to come up with his version of what I had told him. And basically, when I had got into the office, it was a couple days later, and he showed me, and I was like, "No, dude." Which is a shoe that eventually became the Guru.
Which did have waves in it, right? It was,
Yep. So then I'm sitting there like in front of the computer. I'm like, no, dude, this is the pattern I'm looking for, And I think I sketched it out. Obviously, didn't keep it or, at that point, like,
whatever.
Who knows?
Right.
Like, I didn't even know if the shoe was going to get made, let alone like, I need to keep this for 30 years later and hold on to it,
Because I know this thing's going to do numbers.
So basically when I went in the office, I was like, no, it's more like this, and kind of showed him the pattern here.
Okay.
And all my shoes I go back to had a toe cap.
Okay.
So you're looking at like, probably 80% of the shoe already is done.
Okay.
He came up with the bottom and the back.
Got you.
That was Brian.
Okay.
But if you ask anybody about what do you think about a D3? What do you say?
Dave
Whoa.
Mayhew.
There you go.
Well,
Well, it's your shoe.
no, the big lace loops. Like
Right.
that's usually what people
for
you
sure,
know,
for
Oh.
sure.
refer to as like, oh, that shoe with the big lace loops. So
Oh, yeah.
that's
I just
the
refer
common
to that
ground.
shoe as one of the biggest shoes ever made.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, not the
Biggest
laces.
is like size or
Size.
yes.
It was
Because
it's
that
a-
was the
it's a big
shoe. Yeah, we can. I mean, obviously we'll get into it, but like, it was like guys and girls wearing it like in junior high school. It just.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it
was
transcended skateboarding.
it
man.
was
it was everywhere.
Ravers,
It
It was
It was
everything.
everywhere. Right.
It
Fred
made me
Durst.
not want to wear them.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you're saying that the side, the lace loops, all that stuff, the toe cap, everything, and then Brian did the rest of
Yes.
the shoe. He laid it.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
and to go against something he has said about me that I wasn't in Korea working on the shoe, like I never got invited.
Right.
None of the riders got invited.
Mm-hmm.
That was his
That was
job.
right.
My job was to go kickflip and
Yeah, skate.
shove
Yeah,
it. You
yeah.
know, like his job was to do the shoe.
Well,
That's
any
what he
s-
worked his way into. You
I mean,
know?
any skater that designs a shoe is really not in that process. They're designing the aesthetics and what they're
No.
looking for. They test out a couple pairs. They're cool. Make these little changes, whatever. The designers actually they're doing the grunt work, so to speak. They're
Yeah.
going out and making sure that shoe
Yeah.
that rider wants is
Which
what they
is-
want.
which is work. You
Sure.
know? And I've never said that Brian didn't do that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but the one thing I know he didn't come up with is what I tell you guys is the lace loops, that whole kind of pattern.
Sure. Sure.
You know, and you know, it's obviously became a hot kind of button issue, but you know,
and it's
like,
become a big button.
at the end of the day, I don't care what people believe.
Right,
Like,
right.
you know, I can put my head on my pillow and know that what I know. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
For sure.
What were your thoughts when you first got that shoe?
It was everything that I was trying to do.
What were
Even
your
the
thoughts
same.
Because
Oh, go ahead, Raj. What?
What were your thoughts when you first got your first paycheck from that shoe?
I'm getting ripped off.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay.
Damn, like if I got this, it could be this.
No, I mean, my whole going back to it was like I wanted something that stood out.
Right.
That
Right.
was my whole thought. I was like, it goes along the lines of a gimmick,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And that was my gimmick, was just to be like, damn, that thing's crazy.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Was there samples being made and stuff? Were you testing out shoes that would come back and stuff like that?
I had the first sample I got was pretty close to production.
Okay.
And that was in Japan when Brian came over from Korea, met Canton, myself, and Chad Knight in Japan.
Uh-huh.
And he comes in like Santa Claus, you know, because everybody had a sample shoe.
Okay.
And Canton always reminds me of this, that when Brian handed me the shoe, the D3, he's just like, you know, you killed it with this design.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I think people are going to be stoked. You did a great job.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, Canton always reminds me of this, even through all this. He's like, dude, I know, like,
Don't trip.
don't
Yeah.
trip, you know. And I'm
Sure.
just like, so yeah, the D3 comes out. You know, I skated the first pair in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I think we made one change was with the first lace loop here.
Mm-hmm.
We had added, because I kept ripping shoelaces like fast.
Okay.
So I was like, we need to, you know, bow that in a little bit and create like a little pocket
Oh.
for the lace. And I think that was the one altercation prior to production.
Okay. Got you.
You know, once the shoe's out, so we're sitting at ASR show, and in the Osiris booth, shoes out, crickets.
Right.
Nobody wanted that shoe. It was like on the chopping block.
Okay.
Like
okay.
basically like it backfired.
Right.
Nice try, Dave. You know, I even remember like I think it was Mag was like, you know, it looks good, Dave, but it's just not gonna work
It's not
or
gonna
something,
work.
you know.
Got you.
Fast forward 6 months later, flying off the shelves.
I mean,
Like-
Fred Durst.
But this
was wearing
is
them.
before
This is
Fred
before
Durst.
okay.
Fred Durst, I think, was wearing the 2001s. This is
Oh, okay.
this is like D3
Got
mini
you.
storm.
Okay.
You know, it's not quite the 2001 hurricane.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so the D3 started making numbers. You know, I even had shops coming in like, you know, can you get me a size run, or you know, because they were selling out, like they weren't
Right.
making them fast enough
Wow.
to come out.
Do you think they were selling more at this point because you were skating in them and like having coverage, or why do you think it started selling? Just out of it.
I mean, if somebody could bottle that,
Yeah.
you know, like
It's
You
a
just never know.
Time,
Be rich,
time
it's
and
just-
moment. It's
yeah,
part of
it's-
the culture. I think that was happening.
You just never
well,
know.
I mean, I will say like I would see from S back then, like there would be like the shoe called the Scheme, where they had all the bells and whistles. These techie, crazy, puffy shoes that just started going nuts.
Yeah.
And I think shoes across the board.
DVS had like 3 SKUs that were just bulky and just big and disgusting, but they worked.
yeah.
But here's where I think it came from, and it goes back to me being this little kid in Wisconsin, and like how you could travel all around,
Yeah.
and you would see a kid at like a restaurant or something, you'd be like, "That's a skater."
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Like I wanted that kind of like recognition. Like if somebody's wearing that,
You
they
know-
probably skate.
Right.
Right.
For sure.
You know, because you can't, you know, DVS, DC, like you might be able to see from 6 feet, but you can't see it from across the street, which is what I
Totally.
wanted. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think all that kind of like mixed into the design of what I was going for, you
Okay.
know?
Got you.
So
Got you.
second trade show, it's like starting to pick up a lot, you know, and like there's a buzz about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even at that point, you know, it was like, who knows where this is going to end up, but it, you know,
Sure.
it was just selling.
Yeah.
And then I think by the next trade show is when sales were really going super strong, and there was already buzz about tricking it out even more.
Okay.
Because I feel what I created was like a pattern that you could work off of,
Mhm.
you know?
Got you.
It's kind of like a car, you know, you got your 4 wheels, but you can make a truck, you can make a car, you can make
Sure.
a sports car,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the lace loops, the everything that's what people wanted, and that's what was going good, you know?
Got you.
And when did this come out? I'm sorry to cut you off.
So the D3 came out beginning 98, I think.
98.
Amazing.
Okay.
So I think we started working on it in 97. And I think it came out 98 at some point.
Cool.
And yeah, you know, to me, it was just like design a shoe. It was in my contract. We pretty much, you know, that we signed is like, you must design a shoe,
Sure. Right.
you know, and just all the stories around it and everything. Like, you know, it's just, it's crazy. It makes me laugh because even to see you guys sit and talk about it, like I sit at home sometimes, it's like, these dudes,
I don't,
like,
but that's
they
what-
should just,
Going off of what we heard.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to reach through and just like,
And that's
like,
something.
you know?
Well, that's something we didn't even hear like recently. We've heard that for the last
this ain't
whatever
just no
20
recent
years.
totally. And that's
Yeah.
something that, you know,
and
I think people have to take into account is like, you know, there's so many fables out there. There's so many stories that deal with like, you know, high profile skaters even, you know,
But-
it's like you don't, it's just a game of telephone, you know, you don't know till you,
see, but I'll tell you right now, it's when this game of telephone started.
yeah,
And I'll tell you when the game of telephone started.
please.
But it's not quite yet.
Oh, okay.
So, whatever. The D3's popping off.
It's going good.
You know, and it's going crazy. Like, kids are wearing it everywhere. So then I didn't want to wear it.
Right.
Because I didn't want to be a kid like, look at that kid, he's wearing D3s.
Yeah.
You know?
Because at this point, it's like kids in school were buying them, and then not just everybody that didn't skate.
Yes, it was
It's-
skate shoes were popular back then. Like, but that one shoe was like everyone that didn't skate.
It's
Every kid that
evolved
didn't
from
skate.
like one crazy scene to another.
Right.
Like it's morphed and it's still selling.
Crazy.
You know, like it's just found its ways to like,
Oh,
I don't know, man.
Sure.
You know?
I just
Sure.
brought up in my head real quick the Instagram that someone's like when they went on the Osiris Instagram account and they put some shit inside the D3. You see that recently? You didn't see that? This was like 2 years ago. Someone like was on the Osiris Instagram account and hacked it. Like they got fired or something, and they went and put a D3 and they put a piece of shit. And they posted it
On the,
I mean,
on
on the
that's
Instagram,
amazing.
dude.
Wow.
Sorry, it was I just thought about that. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it was no disrespect towards you.
No, dude, I don't.
I don't give a shit about that.
like I said, you know, you can create something and you don't know where it's gonna go.
Absolutely.
Like you guys created a nightclub.
Right.
You could have 2 viewers, you could have 2 million.
Exactly.
You
We
never
don't
know.
Right.
Like you design,
Right.
you just design it and then it's free.
Yeah.
You know?
So by the third trade show, popping off, you're
Yeah.
starting to see it. You don't want to wear it anymore.
I think up to that point I was wearing
Mm-hmm.
them. But kind of starting to get on the fence because we go on tour and it was like a lot of not skate kids wearing them.
Yeah.
And it's just the weirdest feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, being like a hardcore skater, you're like, it's just weird.
Total.
I mean, you could get off the tour van like in Bumblefudge, like
Totally.
wherever, and you'd find somebody with them.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
A couple people.
Right.
But weren't
Like,
you
it was crazy.
weren't you somewhat stoked? I mean, well, maybe we'll talk about the money thing, maybe not. But like, you must have gotten a good royalty checks from these kids that
I
aren't
mean-
skating buying your shoes.
Yeah,
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
For me, it was definitely a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm a skateboarder. I wanted to be known as a skateboarder.
You designed it for
That
skateboarding.
meant more to me than having a shoe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I gave everything I could to it, you know, to
Sure.
skateboarding. And, like, you know, at the end of the day, I think that's how we want to be remembered, you know?
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the shoes popping off. There's starting to be a little bit of buzz. I think some distributors and shops were kind of talking like, let's do something with this, you know, and that's kind of, so then Osiris comes to me and they're like, you know, we want to use the pattern and do something different.
Without
You
your
know.
name on it.
No, with my name on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Cause they knew. It was
There's-
what I came up with it, you know.
This is a hot
Like,
item.
They
yeah.
came to me
Okay.
to ask, and I said, okay. You know, like, we all need money.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we came up, you know, they took my side pattern and everything, and I voiced here and there like about the 2001, which is very similar to the D3. It just has some little bells and whistles, a little bit more to it.
Got
you know?
you. Yeah.
Which when that one came out, I mean, that's when it went bonkers.
Right.
So I think that's when Fred Durst was wearing them.
Okay.
And
What was different? Like the soul of it, basically.
overall, just kind of like updated.
Okay.
So like the side panel was reflective. We used reflective material and a lot of stuff, and it was easier to change up the color schemes with it.
Yep. Got
You
you.
know.
Okay.
So it became more of like a palette that you could just work with.
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
because you know some shoes are hard to come up with colorways.
Yeah.
Like they've done every single colorway under the sun for these. You
Right,
know,
right.
Like, 'cause, I mean, it's still selling, and it's 2021.
Fucking
You know what I
crazy,
mean?
bro. I'm sure when you saw Fred Durst wearing them, you were like, "What the hell is going on?"
I just laugh.
Dave, did you have anything to do with the snowboard boot?
That is another thing that they came to me and asked, you know, do you mind if we do a snowboard line and have a D3 boot? And I was
Okay.
like, I told them that, I mean, at that point, it was basically a rip-off more of the 2001 D3. And I was just like, as long as you guys are going to pay me what, you know, I'm due
Right.
for, then whatever, you know?
Sure.
Like, it's just a concept. You know, if people like the concept, then whatever, you know? At that point, it had pretty much gone out of skateboarding. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still people that were wearing it, but not, you know, you didn't see as many in the skate world. You know?
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, that one started jumping off. And then, so I had the D3, the 2001, the snow boot,
God damn.
you know, things are popping off. And that was about the same time, like the Storm. If you guys want to talk about the Storm.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Oh,
like when
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let me go get my
that-
tank ball gun.
Yeah. The Osiris Storm.
Great video.
It's so funny, like when you're prior to making a video, when you come up with a concept and you're like thinking, like, that'd be kind of funny to do like paintballing and just film it and like
Yeah.
it's the Storm, kind of make it not a good idea.
Yeah. Kind of random, but it was highly anticipated back then.
It was.
I was.
Because they advertised the crap out of it.
Yeah, and the team, like, you
Of
were like,
course.
holy
Team,
shit,
like-
you got Smolak on there,
Of
Mayhew, like,
Yeah, I mean, we were
Jerry.
freaking filming nonstop. It was like
Right.
nonstop tour.
yeah.
I don't know another company that toured as much as we did.
Seemed like you guys were
Like,
on
we did.
it.
They're trying to keep the scares out of the office.
I mean,
There you
looked
go.
like you guys had like
that
crazy,
was a good
crazy
rush.
like tour buses like all over the place, and
Well, one time, yeah, we had.
oh, that was after the
that was
video.
just the aftermath
After.
tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
But prior to that, we had this idea, and you guys might be able to relate, is like you're going on tour, you're just skating the jankiest stuff, crappiest parking lots. Like, how can we change this? So we kind of came up with the idea of building some of our own stuff that at least you're like used to, and it's going to be decent.
For sure.
Because there's nothing worse than like showing up to parking lot. There's like 1,000 kids there, and they're like, "Here you go."
You're
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this?
That's how Rodney ended up breaking his ankle on an A-team tour.
Oh.
I remember we showed up to the spot, and Rodney was just like, "This doesn't look good."
Oh,
And
no.
it's like, "Oh, we just gotta like show, we just gotta do
Right.
it."
Yeah.
And it was like a little bit later, snap. drove it.
Oh my god.
God. And having your own shit there too is like, I mean, you're used to
Yeah, you're just
skating
kinda
it.
used to it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what tricks you're gonna do. Yeah.
So now you can
Put on
take
a
the
little
tricks
show.
that you're used to and do them every time,
There you go.
all over again, every
Hey.
single day.
Same
All good,
routine,
though.
yeah.
All
know?
good though. All good. That kid in that other state didn't see that trick that you did.
Yeah, no,
So
it's
It's like being a stand-up comic. You do the same bit every
Yeah,
or every stop you go to.
you hone your
Yeah.
craft.
yeah.
I just kind of the repetitiveness kind of ate at me.
I bet you. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, it was gnarly. I mean, we were doing like the demos and 4-in-1 wanted footage, and then the skate magazines were like, "We're not taking any more demo footage. Like, you got to go." So you're like
Yeah.
doing demos and then going street skating and then driving, 8 hours the next spot. Like,
Yeah.
we did some gnarly tours.
I can imagine, man. And so the storm, how long did that take to film? Were you filming for a year?
I mean, that was after Troubleshooters.
2 years?
So I guess we kind of skipped Troubleshooters a little bit.
No, we touched on it a little bit. That was good.
But the way it formed and the way Steve did it is kind of interesting, because like I had filmed a bunch of stuff, and this, we have to go back. This is Steve's idea from Madison, Wisconsin, that he wanted to do a video. So like I ended up filming a bunch of stuff, and he showed it to like Canton, Smolik, and then eventually they were all down. They're like, "Okay, this is gonna be sick."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's doing some stuff that's dope. Like, this sounds fun. Like,
Totally,
let's do it, you
yeah.
know? So, yeah, because that's what kind of formed the storm, or the Troubleshooters video, which was kind of a prequel for the storm.
Right.
Yeah, true.
In a sense, because a lot of the same people were on it,
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, the team just grew and grew and grew, and like
I just tripped
It
out. There were
did.
so many. When I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, all these guys from San Diego," and they're like, "Oh no, a lot of them are from Wisconsin."
yeah.
I just thought that was really random. Like, how did all this Wisconsin people end up in San Diego?
I don't know.
It happens.
Yeah.
What about Chad Knight? Wasn't he from? Where is he from?
He's from Ohio,
Ohio. That's right.
Westerville.
Okay. Okay.
And Dave Coyne.
Yep.
Dave
Dave
Coyne.
Coyne.
Dave Coyne.
That's right.
Yep. Can't forget Coyne. And Pizzelle was, I think he's from Ohio, but somewhere else. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, you guys really did a good job of coming out with the video, then going on an aftermath tour and really tying it all together and keeping that hype going. you
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
Yeah.
you spend a lot of money on advertising.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what you get, you know?
For sure. For
Um,
sure.
So yeah, the storm came out, and like we sold out the downtown San Diego theater, which a lot of people had premieres at. They would do like a
Oh,
show.
Spreckles? Is
Yes.
That, yeah. Okay.
They would do a show, and that was it.
Got you. Right.
Like we sold that thing out, I think 3 or 4 times.
Ooh.
There's still lines down. Like the police came, like they blocked off the whole street. Like it was gnarly,
God damn.
like ridiculous.
I love that.
Yeah, so the video came out, it's doing good. My only thing I wish would have been like having just 1 or 2 filmers and have more like kind of cohesive filming
Yeah.
versus like a lot of cameras
Random.
and different,
Sure.
I think that was the one downfall of it, was just like,
Hey, listen. I mean,
know.
either way it went, it was like super popular.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I mean,
it
it's-
really did. It really did well.
when you have that many people on the team,
I
it's hard to
know.
like.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's why
true.
these people nowadays, they're like one person kind of films the whole video. Like, it's,
Right.
That's gnarly, man.
Well, because
Yeah.
nowadays the
Work.
filmer's thinking about the last trick that he filmed and how he can blend that into his part and this and that and clips and
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. So going back
yeah.
to the Storm, that's amazing. The D3, I mean, where do we leave off with the D3? Because it was really gaining traction. The 2001 came out. That's when the Fred Durst and everybody was. I mean, this thing just kept going up and up
That
and
was
up and up.
like, that was also a time like the Storm came out before that, and then the Aftermath tour, I think, was when the that tour took place, Aftermath tour.
Yep.
Because we did U.S. in a big van or bus,
Tour bus,
mega bus.
kinda, yeah.
Great way to blow a lot of money,
Yeah.
but
A lot of companies were doing it back then,
Yeah,
though.
DVS
Yeah.
had a big old Winnebago.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
They
but this
bought
was
it.
like Pat Benatar was going to be on it after us.
Shit.
I mean, it was.
Oh, they
like-
were they were rented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it came with the driver, everything. So we did the U.S. It was crazy, and then you're having like thousands of people show up at demos and poster signings.
Insane.
And it was nuts. And then we did the Aftermath tour in Europe, and that was even ramped up more.
I'm sure.
I mean, everybody was like, this is like Powell Peralta was when Powell was Powell. Like, it was insane.
Because there's levels to it. Like if you're in California, then you cross state lines to other states. It's crazy. And then you go out to other countries. It's even crazier.
Yeah.
Like back then, nobody's seeing all these pros.
Yeah.
You can't reach out and give them a DM or anything.
Yeah,
It's
for
fucking
sure.
nuts.
The tours are crazy. Everything's popping. Like, we're just having fun, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, we felt, once again, like the direct influence. So it was like what we wanted to create, we create. So you
Right.
look at something like the G-Bag,
Oh, yeah.
who
Yeah.
I would put
yeah.
more on like Smolik and Little B,
Sure.
because we'd show up to the spots, they'd have, their boombox, their backpack is right there, and it would be like, it was just like a blend. And I don't even know if Brian came up with that or if it was Brandon, and I don't know.
It worked.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
people,
was,
yeah.
it
That
was,
out
it was
there.
fun for a while. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
That's whatever. But like, it was just cool to be a part of something that you guys can agree with, that
Oh,
you can
yeah,
actually like
man.
voice your opinion.
Sure.
So there was like an ad concept. So like they wanted me to shoot this kind of lifestyle ad.
Mm-hmm.
I was working with this guy and meet up, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not feeling this, dude. Like,
Really?
I was like, let's do something that is like more along the lines with what I deal with,
Yeah.
So I remember I focused my board. I had tools in my backpack, and I was just changing. Like, this is what skaters do. So I was just changing my board. We shot the picture, just white background, as clear as day. And then they ended up using that for a whole ad concept that ended up, I think the dude told me it won some kind of like award or something.
There you
just
go.
Creativity, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Skateboarders can't be creative. We should just get
Absolutely,
that
bro.
right,
Talented
Hell
people in
yeah.
skateboarding.
Damn
Hell
true.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Nor can skateboarders go to be shoe designers. Right?
Oh, wait, what did you say?
That's another thing that has been said about me is like I was just a skateboarder, not a shoe designer. Like,
Right.
the two can't coexist.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean, how many people do we know that were skateboarders have gone on to design
Scott
shoes?
Johnston.
There's quite a few.
Alf.
Alf.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of people have
Hell yeah.
done that.
Damn.
So the shoes jumping.
Yeah.
So then, I'm sitting there not skating in any of them. And so I go to Brian. I was like, I want to try to make a more skate friendly one,
Got you.
Like kind of keep the concept. And that was the D3 NTX.
NTX.
Yep.
Okay.
So it had like a real thin sole, definitely more skatable,
okay.
Calm down.
Right.
But apparently people wanted the bulky,
Right.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
right.
the bulky, D3, whatever, they wanted that. So that didn't do too well. And then, I'm still skating. At this point, A-Team had kind of crumbled and Enjoy kind of blossomed out of that.
Sure.
And, you know, so I'm doing Osiris, Enjoy. You know, I think I'd quit Crux, which is one of my biggest regrets.
Oh, really?
I'd rode for Crux forever, and they
Yeah.
supported me, and Rodney somehow talked me into riding for Tensor.
Okay.
But, yeah, Jeff Kendall was always dope to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
I mean, dude, the Tensors had the little thing on the truck. You couldn't
Little nose slide, little plastic
Yeah.
nose slide thing.
A funny thing is that we were on an A-Team tour, and Rodney was trying to come up with a name for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he's real mathematical and all this stuff. And I told him, I was like, just dig in there and just find a name, like, out of what, you know, you're using and stuff. And Tensor actually has a meaning, you know, as part of the truck.
Oh, interesting. I did not know
So
that.
Google that. I don't know
Okay.
it, but that's where the name kind
Huh.
of came from, you know.
Oh, yeah, I had no
Kinda
idea.
interesting.
No idea.
So then Mark ends up leaving Enjoy and going to Chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of ruffled everything at Enjoy. And then Matt Eversole
Mm-hmm.
took over. And at about the same time, you know, I have several shoes out with Osiris that I get a phone call from Mark DeLellis, who is better known as Shockus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace. Good homie. He calls me up and is basically like, there's a press release at Osiris telling everybody you're off the team, you know, wishing you luck, that you've been really supportive, yada, yada.
That's how you found out that you're
Yeah.
off the team?
Yep.
Wow.
Crazy.
No
Whoa.
conversation. No nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't see
No.
this coming at all.
No.
Wow.
Wow.
Especially
I mean,
when
how-
the shoe's cranky, like everything is like,
I know.
what are we talking
But
about?
they're still making the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're going to
So-
continue making it. Okay, he's laughing.
Yeah. So basically, we're familiar with the word hijack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shoe's doing great. What makes sense for the company to do is like, kick me off the team and let's keep all this money.
Let's
Is-
take his
is-
name off the shoe.
Is basically what happened.
Right. Okay.
Is
Okay.
what they attempted to do.
Sure.
So then I go into the office. I'm just like, you know, with Mag and Reed and I don't even know who else was there. And like, I'm just like, what's going on? You know, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And they basically like kind of calmed me down enough to the point where like, we're going to keep paying you. You know, things are changing and, you know, I get it. You know, all companies go through change and
Yeah.
stuff. But at that point, like, it just didn't make sense. Like I was filming, you know, still and this and that, and like, you know, having ads and stuff, like doing
Still
what
on
was-
Enjoy.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
doing what was asked of a pro. You
Sure.
know,
Totally.
wasn't like I was sitting at the beach just, you know, pina coladas chilling. You know,
Little
like,
umbrella in the pina colada.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
you know, I was still doing work.
Sure.
And obviously, you know. So yeah, they pretty much, you know, wanted to still pay me, but kick me off the team.
How does that work? Like, why not just leave your name on the squad?
Because sometimes there's bigger plans, you know?
Yeah.
And what had happened was, so then Mark's leaving Enjoy, and I get this news shortly after about, you know, this, and I'm just like, maybe it's just done.
Right.
You know, like, and I go in and they tell me they're still going to pay me. I'm just like, maybe this is just time. Like, I never wanted to be the pro that still had a board out, not holding my weight.
Got you.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, there's only so many boards you can put on a wall.
Sure.
Like, some people might deserve it.
I get you. Yeah.
So I never wanted to be that dude. So yeah, I kind of came to terms with like, okay, this is going to be it, you know? So I kept filming. Osiris did a video called Subject to Change, which I had a full part for. Worked with Mark Chagas on it, and go to the premiere. My part's not in it.
Oh, you thought you were going to have a part, though.
Yeah, they took my part out.
Wow.
There's some dirty ass dudes.
Mag,
That's so crazy, bro.
according to Mark Chagas, is that Mag's like, take Dave's part out.
Wow.
So I'm at the premiere. I mean, imagine going to the premiere, you'd film for
Oh,
it,
yeah.
you're sitting there, and you're just like,
Video's over. Like where's my
Was it
shit?
advertised that you were going to have a part in the video?
I I believe so, but it wasn't. They didn't do advertising like they did
For the storm.
you
Yeah.
know? It's weird because like all these things are kind of hitting me
Right.
pretty close, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just hard because Brian Reed was like a super good homie of mine, you know.
Right.
And when you start getting like stabbed by your homies and like, it's gnarly, you know.
Yeah, man.
I always try to look at both sides of a story, but I'm always like, in something like that, like, why not have the conversation beforehand? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because conversations
Like,
mean a lot.
That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, if we're gonna take your part out, like, hey, let's talk. We're trying to figure something else
There's a
out.
lot of conversations. That should
But
happen.
he did say that they were gonna pay you, but not put you on the team. So
Yeah, basically they're kicking me off the team, but behind the scenes they're still going to pay me.
I mean, they're still
And-
selling your shoe.
At that point, I kind of just hit a wall, and I was like, it was funny because my parents were like, just come back to Madison. Like I only got, I'd see them every once in a while. And, like pretty much ended up selling my house, moving back to Wisconsin, just kind of abruptly.
Right.
You
You opened up a skate shop
sold my
there.
house. Yeah, I mean, that's getting into it. But just like kind of went back and was just depressed.
Yeah, I bet.
Just in shock because it all like it just
like
happened.
that.
Boom.
Yeah.
And so like I ended up applying to go to graphic design school in Madison. And then like right before school started, my appendix wanted out.
Oh,
I mean, it's like 2 or 3 days before school started. My appendix wanted out.
Jesus.
So I go into I was skating and then just fell. I was just like hunched over. I was like, something's wrong.
Oh man.
Wow. Okay.
So go in and, go to the ER, get pushed in, have surgery, and like what apparently might have happened was when they were doing the surgery, nicked my bowel,
Oh.
which basically you can,
Yeah.
So I ended up like cutting me open because it's supposed to be like laparoscopical, like you go in and like take it out. So then I get like cut open.
Oh my God.
I'm in the hospital for like 4 days. I mean, I have like it's a gash,
Sure.
So like in the hospital and like basically they let me out, go home. This is kind of gnarly. It's like I'm sleeping on the couch. I just didn't feel right, and like somehow I like rubbed my stomach or whatever, and like somehow smelled like I was infected.
Right.
So I had to go back into the
Horrible
hospital.
smell.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
super gnarly. Like woke me up. I was like,
Oh God.
so, it was one of those like, So then I had to go back into the hospital. They cut me back open, and I had to heal this time from the inside out versus outside in. Wow. Which when they stitch you, that's what happens.
Okay.
So that's how you end up with like a super gnarly scar.
Sure.
So like I'm back in the hospital a couple days. School's
Yep.
kind of off the table. I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, but I believe weird things all kind of happen for a reason,
Sure.
Talking to one of my friends, and Madison was just kind of lacking what I felt like was a good skate shop, And it just kind of happened that he had mentioned to another friend who was actually working in a skate shop that I wanted to start a skate shop. So we got in touch and, we're like, let's do a skate shop,
Rad.
So, yeah, I mean, it started off super cool. Like,
How did it end?
I'll get to you. I'll get to it, So yeah, it starts off super fun. Like we were doing video premieres in the shop, like doing stuff that I think as a kid I would want to have, a shop to do.
Yeah.
And this is a 50-50 type of deal? Or
Yeah,
how's
yeah.
this? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was the shop called again?
I don't know if I even want to say it because I don't like giving props out to it, but it's called Alumni.
Alumni, that's right. Okay.
And basically, so we're humming along, like we're doing shop videos with like Travis Erickson, my friend Corey Peterson, Andrew Norris, Josh Bettner. I just like saying their names because they're all homies,
Yeah.
Timmy Sinnott and Asian Jesse, just like all these people, Jack Richardson and Jared Hockmuth. Those are the guys that film most of it, but like, we were doing these videos and just at that point with the shop, like I kind of backed away from the buying because I had known some companies had done certain things here and there, and I was like, I don't want my view to impact
Oh, okay.
the kids' views, you know.
Uh-huh.
So like we ended up really trying to go heavy in shoes
Oh.
because that was something that not many shops. Because you have to think of opening a shop in Madison is like you got 6 or 7 months where it's nice out,
Yeah.
5 or 6 months where it's like freezing,
Yeah.
Right.
like up to Christmas, and then you're like done.
Yeah.
You know, so we came up with trying to do more shoes as a skate shop because people need shoes year round. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
So yeah, things are humming along, you know, and we got a pretty vibrant shoe wall. We got, you know, everybody on there, and then the whole Nike SB thing kind of starts creeping in,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, we first start with a couple SKUs, and you know, they're moving, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To me, I always envisioned like a open wall, you know.
Yeah.
And over the years, like the rep was super cool to us. This guy, Rob Sissy, he's always really nice to me. And, you know, their program was pretty much like divide and conquer, you know?
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, they put a lot of shops out of business.
Definitely.
Right.
You know, I'm probably going to get screwed at for this, but whatever, you know, like it's the truth,
Sure.
you know? And so it gets to the point where like we got like so many Nikes. You're doing like the P-Rod with running sole. You're doing, so you have like your normal SKUs and you got all these other SKUs. And when you go meet with the rep, it's like, you know, basically they're like, well, this is what you pay, you know, this is what you did last year, this is what you did last month.
Yeah.
You know, like let's bump it up, you know?
Sure.
So it's like all of a sudden, like, so we're ordering more and like, you know, I think we got into collections a couple of years into it, you know, where they're coming after
Oh,
us.
wow.
So we like managed to dump some shoes and like try to like pay up bills, you know.
Right, right.
And then
Because you don't really know what you're getting, right? You would order
No,
stuff and they would
you
just
would-
send you shoes.
for the most part, you knew what you were getting.
Okay,
You would get
okay.
like a box here and there
Uh-huh.
of just random stuff,
Okay.
and it's they put you in this corner, you know, because they're always dangling this little quick strike over your head.
Right.
So they're like, you know, order. And I'm not trying to bash Nike or anything.
No, it's
like,
just a
you
bit-
know,
But that's just the way it happened, right?
This is the truth. Yeah.
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 So, and our rep is just like, you know, basically, you know, we're not going to open the Zoomies. We're not doing online. Trust me. And in my head, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know where this is going.
Right,
You know,
okay.
but we'll play the game. You know, because I was wearing Nikes because at that point I was like, screw all the other companies. They're shady, you know?
Got you.
And so then it's funny the way they did it too, because they would send me a box of like 10 shoes. So of course I'm gonna like, oh, you wear
Go-
8.5? Here you go. You wear 8.5?
Yeah.
Right.
And next thing you know, they're sending shoes to Travis Erickson, Andrew Norris, like they're getting boxes. And so then eventually, like, there's a funny thing happens. Everybody's wearing Nikes,
Right.
you know? So then the kids start thinking it's cool.
Yep.
So then they're coming into the store, like, and slowly, like, Nike kind of ate away at our shoe wall. Like, where we can't get the iPass now because our money's
Tight.
soaked up in, you know, this, or you can't get that brand because, you know, this. And, you know, so shop life was always kind of interesting. That was probably the biggest thing that my partner and I bang heads against was just the whole Nike thing, which I'm cool with them being in it, but like the way they came in and everything, it was just, I wasn't a big
Right,
fan.
It
of
disrupted
You know?
it for sure.
Yeah.
Since then, they've changed their
Yeah,
their
they're definitely in a
business
different-
model. Right?
Yeah, no, I
Different
mean,
space now.
supposedly, I don't,
Sure,
I
sure.
don't own a shop anymore, so
Okay,
I don't know.
okay.
But like, you know, it was to the point where, you know, we've done a couple shop videos, stores doing good, you know, and that's kind of, I think the second time we ended up in collections with Nike,
Damn.
and you know, it's just kind of like I kept telling my partner, I was just like, we just gotta just calm down on this, you know, because by then they had opened up online They opened up to Zoomies. So there's 2 Zoomies that opened up in Madison.
Oh.
And there's an outlet mall about 20 miles away that sold SBs. That
Okay.
all the stuff he's like, never gonna happen, never gonna happen. You know,
happen,
it's just the game.
Sure.
So then we'd have kids like, you know, coming in like, oh, I just got these from the outlet for like $20.
Oh wow.
And it's like a Nike Dunk, and I'm sitting here trying to sell ours for like 80, 85, you know?
Yeah.
Shit.
So then the buzz would go off, and like kids are going over there to buy them,
Wow.
you know? And so it got to the point where then we started eBaying Nikes
Okay.
just to stay afloat.
Wow.
I sold thousands of Nike SBs on
Shit.
eBay, you know? And it just kind of ran its course. Like me and my partner were bumping heads, and it's just, I worked with the Madison skate park group. We got a nice skate park built. Some wonderful guys that got that worked out and got a beautiful park built.
Amazing.
And I was like, I want to do like skate lessons. Like in order to own a shop, like you have to recreate yourself every
So
5 or so years.
Yeah, and you got to be out there in
the
the community doing stuff.
skaters come and go.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, so I wanted to be more of like the face, like going to like the middle school, skating with the kids, like going doing the skate camps and creating a whole new circuit of kids, you know. What you see nowadays, people doing it, but this is a while, you know.
Yeah.
So he was always like, you know, that's gonna make a bad look for the shop and all this
weird.
stuff, and we just butted heads. So one night after 10 years, I get a text message basically saying like, I want to buy you out. Like, you're done. You're not even into it.
Okay.
You know, and this is after I had my second child, you know, and
right.
just like my mom was sick, passing away. And he just hit me with this text. And
Oh,
I'm just
wow.
like,
You're gonna hit me with a text.
yeah, 10 years.
Damn.
You know, and I'm not trying to bash him. It's just the wrong way to go about it, you know?
Yeah. I think people are just they're reluctant on having hard conversations.
I think so. I
You know?
think as a society, we're
But
kind
it's
of
like-
getting to that point where hard conversations are kind of.
Yeah, it's tough because we're all like we're grown men, you know. Like we should be able to have conversations, you know, and work it out and figure it all out. But
Yeah.
I guess the text message is, you know, it's a way to go now.
So I remember like the last Nike event I went to was a skate shop or a skate park called Cream City.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yep.
Was it Milwaukee?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great,
Yeah.
great park.
And Ed Slego was there.
Hell yeah.
So we're sitting
Oh,
with Ed
wow, yeah.
Slego.
Rad, dude.
Me and Ed were on the same page. It was just like, quit it with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just give us the dunks, the Janowski, P-Rod, let's call it a day.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. Like, let's not do all this. And I remember there's like a bunch of shops and everybody's talking. I think I raised my hand. I was like, just keep it simple, you know? And I think Ed had raised his hand, just simple, you know? And basically, you know what happened to Ed and MIA shop.
MIA.
You know?
They shut down, right?
Tell you why,
Please.
what we're talking about,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, to the people that ride for Nike that watch this, you guys are excluded from this. This is the business side of Nike. This is not to be taken personal. You
Sure. Yeah.
know? And I don't want to take a lot of heat for this. It's just the way it.
It's the way it
way it went,
unfolded.
you know?
Yeah. I get you.
So yeah, man, the last days, like we're just eBaying tons of dunks. Like I wasn't even having fun in the shop. Like all the shop riders are texting me, like I don't want to go in the shop. And if you look at the Instagram today, it's just all shoes.
Shoes, right,
You know?
right.
Come get a ticket to win the lottery to come and buy this shoe.
Yeah.
Like it's so,
Right.
but that's the way it is, you know?
Yeah.
It just kind of erupted between me and him, and you know, and that kind of led to my wife and my kids kind of entering the school age,
Okay.
you know, and she'd always wanted to come out to San Diego, and you know, obviously I had history San Diego, so we kind of made the move out to Encinitas.
So he bought you out.
Sorry, yeah,
Right.
kind of.
No. Yeah.
And then within that, another name I forgot to mention was Jeff Kopsky, who was a rad skater. He ended up moving. He was an employee of ours. Ended up going to the other shop, who was our competitor. The guy wanted out of it, and he bought
Oh,
the
wow.
shop Freedom from him.
Oh, sick.
So shout out Freedom,
Okay.
Madison,
There
Wisconsin.
you go.
If you're rolling through, that's where you got to go.
Sick. That's tight.
Because that's kind of why, like, when I'd put the whole enjoy video part thing that we just did, I had ran into Steve Barra at a street league. I think it was when I met you, Kelly, at the street league. And he was just like, "Oh man, sick. Are you still skating?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're still skating and filming and stuff." And he was just like, "Oh, like piece it together. We'd be stoked to do something."
Amazing.
So I was like, "Okay, that'd be kind of fun," just because I kind of vanished.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I started piecing it together. Sent Bear an email. Never heard anything back. I'm sure he gets tons of emails. I don't know. Whatever.
Busy
Didn't take it
dude.
personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I had this like piece, and somehow somebody had ended up sending it to Louis. I was
Louis,
like, "Oh, man, you
hell
still
yeah.
skating?" Like,
Right.
whatever. And so then Louis got a hold of me. He's like, "Yeah, let's do something with it."
Sick.
So that's how the whole, enjoy video part. What was it called, Raj? I can't even think of what it was called.
It's from the Panda Patrol.
Panda Patrol.
Patrol.
That is
Yes.
it. Panda
yes.
Patrol.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was just like my thought with that was like putting myself out there because I'm a huge fan of everybody here. Like it'd be sick to see a Jerron part,
Oh, yeah.
even if it's
Hell
not
yeah.
like,
Right.
even if it's not him breaking it down, like it'd just be sick, And that's what I wanted to like kind of put myself out there was like. I'm still doing it, like having
Totally.
fun, like
Yeah.
it's just fun,
For sure.
I love that,
'Cause,
bro.
yeah.
We talked about it on the show. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you did.
We did.
Yeah.
Because the board's right behind you.
Yep.
My homie Q did that, so
Oh, hell yeah.
he goes a scam.
Okay. Shout out Q, a.k.a. Scam.
Yep. Well,
Hell
you know the
yeah.
Eminem song.
Which one?
I even got the underground. He did with Scam.
Oh, really?
He did all the original Eminem graphics.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Q did some old rhythm graphics back in the day, too.
Yep.
Oh,
I know
rhythm.
Q. Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Okay.
And,
Wow.
yeah, he
Raj
did,
and Q hanging out.
he did Tribe Called Quest.
Q and Jerry.
Yeah.
Sick.
He did one of the Tribe Called Quest. I think the Beats, Rhymes, and Life.
Oh, hell
Wow.
yeah.
So he's like,
Damn.
he's sick.
Okay.
As Raj might agree, or I'm gonna put this out here also, is like the artist, filmer, photographers always got screwed over.
In what
That's
sense,
kinda-
though? Money wise or just credit wise?
Probably
money.
both.
Because they got the credit, but they just didn't get the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I'm not the one to talk.
Can't pay your rent with boards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Raj. Back me up on this one because I know it's true.
Hey, we,
You know,
we
it's
can't
like-
pay you, but I can send you a box of shoes.
Kind of an untold, talked about thing.
Raj
It's
has
just
talked
like-
about it on the show
Yeah.
before, on their experience show. But yeah, it's, I mean, especially nowadays, it's like film or photography. Like, where do you fit?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
$12
Yeah.
a
I
clip.
mean that.
$12.
Whatever it was back then,
That-
You're lucky to get that sometimes.
See?
Well, now certain brands have like rate sheets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they
but still
work out.
chasing down people for like
Yeah, and then they're like-
$300.
I got someone that owes me $200. I won't say who
Okay.
it is, but I like, I'm just like, all right, I have to do this every month.
Dude,
Hey,
Raj will pay you soon, okay? Shit. Kelly, God damn it. Just keep sending him invoices.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
email him.
So I feel like we need to backtrack once again.
Where are we going now? This has been a nice ride.
So when I opened the shop, I went to. They had these little shows. It was like a snow show, but the skate people would show up.
Oh, cool.
So I go in there. This is 2005, 6.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember who it was exactly, but somebody came up to me and was like, yo, like I thought you designed the D3. Like it's crazy that Brian did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, what? And like this gets back on to the hijack.
Sure.
Is basically what they did was stop paying me once I moved to Wisconsin
Oh, wow. Okay.
and took my name off the shoe.
Mm.
And basically from then on, as a brand, like what makes more sense? Like the dude we just kicked off the team designed it or the designer designed it. So knowing Mag, like that's their thinking is like the designer designed it, obviously.
Right.
Duh.
Right. Right.
So that was kind of like the the story thereafter.
Yeah.
So when you get to, I was late to the meeting,
right.
all this stuff, this is when all that stuff started
Coming out.
spilling out.
Sure.
Once I moved back,
Okay.
that was
Oh. They
made
that
it
was
their
when
own
like
That makes sense. 2005. Okay.
that was when like I started hearing all this stuff,
Okay.
and I'm just like
Everyone in skateboarding was like, "This dude just hit the lottery. He just
Yeah.
disappeared."
Yeah, I heard
Pretty
they
much.
bought you out and then you pieced out.
Yeah.
That's what that. So
Also, you
you got
guys
like $1
wanna see
million.
my bank account?
Yeah. Shit.
So wait. You never really got broke off?
No,
What about royalties from the shoe, though? I mean, I'm sure you were getting.
That's what I'm talking about.
I did okay, and I'll come back to that at the end. So
Yes.
this story will never end.
Let's
It will.
keep
It will
kicking
never.
in.
Listen, this story
wanna
has
put it-
gotten legs of its own.
I want to put it to bed now.
Please, let's do.
Let's go.
Let's do, man.
Lay it down.
We're on our way. Let's go.
Heard it here first. At the
I feel very unsafe. You guys took your smoke alarm down.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Kelly has a great nose.
Yep.
You smell smoke a mile away. You smell smoke a mile away, man. He'll let us know. He'll start laughing. He'll start
That's
laughing.
yeah.
So, okay, so all this is going on. You're back in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Now you're hearing these things like you never had anything to do with the shoe, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They're taking blah, blah, blah. Now what happens?
So,
right? By the way,
luckily-
when was the Vice interview with Brian?
This
This
is-
2000,
yeah, we're
later,
gonna-
later,
it
later,
just came
later.
out.
Just came.
This is 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.
So this is like 13, 14 years later this comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm sitting there, and lucky for me, I was the dude who kept all my Photoshop payment, check stubs. I kept all my royalty
Okay.
printouts. I kept all my pay stubs.
Right.
So I come home one night, just like grab 1 month from my, royalties, my check, grab 1 month of the sales,
Yeah.
and start doing some math.
Oh, okay. Got your
And,
calculator out.
Yes, nothing added up.
Uh,
So I'm just kind of like, whoa,
Huh.
like this is weird.
yeah.
And I remember going on tour, shop owners would come up to me and be like, yo, man, like, sold so many of these, I just bought my second house. And I was like, I don't have a second house.
Wow.
And another person would be like, I got a boat,
Shit.
and I'm just like,
I don't have a boat.
yeah, I'm just like,
God damn.
Damn, Richie Bones is balling.
yeah,
Wow.
and I'm just like, I knew something wasn't adding up, and I never trusted Mag to begin with, going back to,
Gershon was bugging. You're like,
well,
wait,
that,
what's going
and
on?
then
Yeah.
my first encounter when Aaron and I were staying at T-Mac's house, the guy came in screaming about my check.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically, I do 1 month of math, and I'm just like, this isn't adding up. So my homie was like, yo, my friend's a lawyer.
Okay.
Let's check this out,
Sure, sure.
So I give everything over to them. 2 and 2 was not equaling 4.
Right.
So I present them, with this, basically saying, let's go to court,
Yeah.
and they came at me. We ended up settling out of court, and unfortunately, I signed a NDA,
Okay.
which
Okay.
you guys are probably familiar with.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in some terms, I'm in favor of an NDA, and in some terms, I'm not in
Right,
favor.
right. But
You
that
know,
was
when-
part of
when
the settling out was
Yeah.
to sign this thing. So I'm sure with that being said, there's certain things that you can't disclose
Yes.
on the show.
But like when company X does something to person Y and can throw shade over it, that's just shady.
Sure. Sure. Right.
So basically, yeah. So that all gets done. I throw most of my Osiris stuff away.
Okay.
I'm just like, this is disgusting. I'm disgusted.
Don't want anything to do
That's
with
natural.
it. Right.
Yeah. Clean it out of my closet.
Right. Right. Let's get rid of the
So-
let's get rid of the cobwebs.
That's natural.
Yeah. So, so basically, time's going on. In my back of my head, I'm like, I know they're still selling it. I don't care.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm in Wisconsin. The shop's
Right.
going. Got my wife.
Chilling.
We're happy chilling. And eventually, I get a call, a message from this guy, Jean-Jacques, who was a filmer. He did some of the blind video and stuff, like filmer homie. And he's just like, you know, did you hear Brian was paralyzed? We're talking. And I was like, no, you know. So then I'm like kind of tripping because I'm like, man, I've known this guy a long time. You know, I should just reach out to him, you know. So I end up getting his number from Marcel Johnson, call him up, and instantly he's just like, how can we right it wrong? How can we right it wrong? I'm just like, I'm just calling to see how you're doing, man. Like, that's way past. Like, this is 2000, I think it was like 2000, I want to say 16.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean.
Years
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
So these dudes are just so unbelievable, but they're like, Brian kept saying, like, I just want to, you know, right or wrong. So he ends up emailing me a template of the D3 and wants me to do something to it.
Okay.
Add my
Touch
to it.
Sure.
You know, which I do. And I end up emailing him back what I had done, because I do know how to use Adobe Illustrator and CorelDRAW and Photoshop and whatever. Like, I end up sending it back to him, and, you know, I'm just like, well, we got to talk numbers, dude. Like,
Right. This ain't happening twice.
Yeah, you know.
Right? Fool me once.
So,
Shame on
so he wants me to talk to one of the owners about money. Long story short is that they didn't want to pay me any money. And this is when they're working with Tyrone. They're talking to Smolk of doing, like, mine was going to be a Sweet 16 D3 release.
Okay.
And then they were talking about doing a throwback Storm package. Because everything that was cool is now cool again.
Yep.
Basically, I tell Brian, I'm like, dude, I'm not doing it, dude. Whatever, you know, it's cool catching up.
Right.
Whatever. So then, literally, this is like probably 2 months before we move out to San Diego. So I move out to San Diego, and then I get this message from Under Armour.
Okay.
You know, and like how they're working with an artist that brought the D3 into the meeting repeatedly.
Okay.
Like, brought it in, is like, I want this, you know, and they're like, well, so finally it gets to the guy who was like, well, I know Dave. Like, I've met him at a trade show, like a long time ago at an ASR trade show, because he used to work at Airwalk.
Okay.
So he knows the history, and he was there when there wasn't somebody else designed it.
Okay.
It was me, you know?
Right.
So he wants to work with this guy, A$AP Rocky. I have no clue who A$AP Rocky is.
You don't know who's that? Yeah.
Not a clue.
Right.
So I hit up my friend who was a team manager with Osiris for a long time, Pat Simpson, and he's a DJ. It's like, who the hell is A$AP Rocky, you know?
He's like, what?
And he's like, oh man, he's sick, dude. He's legit. Like, and then so I was really hesitant.
Okay.
Because I'm just like, this just elongates the story.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming back. Yeah.
Because they end up flying me out to meet with Rocky or whatever and like kick it. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you're opening Pandora's box here, dude. Like,
you
Like,
told
they
him
don't
that-
know this. They have no idea about
Right,
the story.
right.
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
So what's funny is he saw it. He likes to like rave and party. That's where he saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I want that, you know, and he loved it and just like, you know, wanted my okay.
Okay.
So then after meeting Rocky and just kind of getting his vibe on it, like, it was cool, you know? To me, I thought it was cool because of what had just happened to me and the whole story prior to this. I was like, this is going to be hilarious.
Right.
You know?
Straight up.
Because, you know, the fact of how much fun this shoe has been made fun of,
Okay.
you know?
Yep.
Or how much fun has been made out of the shoe. Like, you know, I've seen tons of pros talk about it, and everybody's got their opinion and whatever.
They're
and
talking
like,
about it though.
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I think the funniest thing for me was the skateboard industry's reaction to hearing that A$AP Rocky was doing this.
Right.
Because I sat back and watched everybody. I watched you guys talk about it, and like, to me, it was just funny, you know,
Sure.
super funny. So
Well, it's
then,
out of left field too. Are you kidding me?
100%.
We're like,
Oh, yeah.
what? The D3 with
Yeah.
A$AP Rocky? How did
Under Armour?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a photo of you guys on top of a car. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on here, dude?
So like, yeah, originally Vice marketing was going to do the whole thing.
Okay.
And I told Rocky the truth. I was like, I designed this part, and Brian did do some of it. I'm not
Okay.
I've never said that he hasn't, And Rocky was just like, dude, the only thing I saw was the lace loops. He's like, that's the only thing I saw.
Okay.
So he's like, you designed the shoe.
Wow.
Because that's what the shoe is. And I was like, I hear what you're saying,
Yeah, appreciate
but
it.
other people are barking different stuff. So I'm just like, I don't really care, but whatever, dude. Like, it's just funny.
Okay.
So he does his version of the D3. They end up like using his marketing people to market it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think they did a good job using me in the skate world to
Tell the
kind
story.
of tell the story,
Got you.
But whatever, like I kicked it with Rocky. He's super cool.
Yeah.
Like I was in the studio and he was recording part of his album and stuff. and,
Amazing.
like,
Wow.
Yeah,
He didn't
you
let you get a
know.
track? Shit.
that's something we need to talk about too, is the progression video part that I filmed.
Oh, yeah. Was it
Progression.
Sugar Bear?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yep.
Sugar
Yeah,
Bear.
I remember that.
Okay. Well, let's stay on track.
So-
Let's stay on track
Yeah.
really quick. We're on this A$AP Rocky thing. Yeah.
So yeah, so it was funny to me because then we're working on the shoe concept and everything, and I'm not a huge fan of it. He knows it, but it's his version of it, you
Yeah.
know, which is to me is the same way I took a version of a hiking boot and took my pieces from it. He took some of his pieces of it and made his shoe.
Right.
That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the shoe comes out, and it turns out to be one of the best selling shoes for Under Armour.
Okay.
Like I
Not
guess
even The Rock can beat that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. This is what I've been told. I didn't get any royalties or anything. I think
Really?
Rocky took all the royalties and put it back into schools that were in
That's
his
amazing.
neighborhood.
Oh, that's
which
awesome.
is another reason I was
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
Right.
That
this
makes
guy's
sense.
cool, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
100% of the proceeds?
I believe.
That's fucking amazing.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
I love that.
Huh.
So I kind of was like, okay, that's dope.
So you didn't get any money from it. You were kind of just hey, let me get your blessing to do this, and then what? All of a sudden,
I got some money.
okay, you did. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
There you go.
But see, now that's where
You just said no royalties.
no royalties.
No.
Right. So you got like a consulting fee or something,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay. So now that leaves in turn now that Brian and Osiris are like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I designed that shoe.
Yeah.
How are you involved with this?
Yeah.
Like you're taking like
So
here's a gray area, right? That I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
It's like when a company comes out with a product, right? It doesn't matter if you designed it or whoever designed it. It's that company's IP, right? It's their intellectual property, right? So how does all that kind of and listen, I'm not a lawyer. Listen.
These things we just hear, I think, over
but
time,
this
right?
is IP, intellectual property, blah 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 blah
Well,
blah. If you change something to a certain percentage, 10% or whatever, it's like so. That's where people are like, well, wait a minute,
Let me-
blah 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 blah.
let me tell you this.
Please.
Under Armour has a decent amount of lawyers.
I could imagine they have
can
one or
imagine.
two.
Yeah.
They told me, don't
good.
even worry about it.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
So,
Right.
and Brian had posted a picture like, I'm going to sue them
Sure.
and all this stuff. Like,
Right.
They
Sue
navigated
Under
that
Armour?
before the deal was signed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
they're not entering the water. No,
They know.
What's in
Yeah.
it, you know?
Right. They know.
So, yeah, that shoe comes out. Brian's all pissed. I'm just, I just can't help but laugh at everything. Because to me, this is just hilarious.
You're having a good little time.
So then, yeah, Brian, him and Mag come and they end up reaching out to somebody at Vice and they're like, we want to do a documentary
Okay.
on the D3 and tell the truth,
Right.
So they
Their
ended up,
truth.
yeah. So
Yeah,
they do that, and then I get an email from the guy who started the project is gone. Now it's another guy. Ended up on his table. He's like, I want to get this done because he's like, don't even care.
It's the Under Armour guy.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Vice.
the Vice piece.
Got you.
Vice.
Got you.
The dude sends me an email. He's like, can we get a comment?
Did they send you the piece to watch?
No.
Nothing. Just, hey,
No.
this is what we did. We need a comment.
They're like, we already talked to Brian
Okay.
and Mag and filmed it.
Mm.
Can we get a comment from you?
Okay.
So I just emailed. At first, I wasn't going to email back. I'm just like, this is so silly. And then I was like, I just hate the latter. Like, it's either I did it or I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't means I'm a liar,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then it feels like I have to try to defend myself or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I just want this all to end. So
never
basically, you know, like I end up emailing this dude back. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Sent him this. Like I showed you the plate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
yeah.
I have a bunch of stuff that I sent him. Then he calls me and he's like, we gotta talk. We gotta put you in this.
Mm.
And I was like, I'll do it, but I want it to be even.
Mm.
You know, like I already know that you guys had done a lot with Brian and Mag.
Right.
You know, and then COVID's happening. So he's like, we can't get any filmers out to film you. So we literally like set up my laptop with photo booth
Okay.
and like
You're showing the
record it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
record it. And, you know, like it was janky, whatever. But, you know, some people came out of it thinking it was okay. I end up getting a lot of messages like, you know, stuff you brush off your shoulder, but still you read of people like saying I'm whack and I'm fake and I lied and
Okay.
I wished harm on your family
Dude,
and
that's
me.
horrible.
Jeez.
What,
You
what
know,
do
and
these
that's-
people know? What the?
And why is
They
it-
don't
and
know
why-
shit.
I know they
And
don't know
why
anything.
is it that important to them?
Yeah, what the hell?
It's keyboard warriors.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
They got nothing
I don't know
going
shit
on.
about this. I just watched this. How long was the documentary?
Oh, it's like half hour, 20 minutes.
I just watched this 20-minute thing, and now I know everything.
Yeah.
And so it's like, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have experienced. You didn't just go into to your D3 shoe and pick it because that was the last one left.
Yeah.
This is what the whole industry heard about.
Yeah, no,
but it's
I mean,
not true.
Yep.
It's like how that's a crazy.
But
But,
that's how
people
you-
think that they know everything.
That's how you hijack a shoe.
It's insane.
Is you start spewing out. I mean, look at our politics. You know, you spew out this and that. I mean, you see a politician with a person, and they say, "I don't know that person.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I don't know
Bro.
that person." Well, here's another picture with you.
It's just
I
crazy.
don't know them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I have no
That ain't-
association
that
with
ain't
them. Yeah, you know, and
It's
it's
just like don't believe everything you hear, dude.
Well, no, I mean, definitely not. And
Okay, so keep going.
the-
Sorry, I
so
didn't mean to
the-
get so mad. You know.
so I-
but
yeah.
listen.
so I end up,
Annoyed.
you know, sitting at the Vice thing. I show them all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The dude wanted to finish it.
Mm.
So basically, they just cut and pieced me in here and there, and
Okay.
that was it. You know.
Right.
So the Vice thing comes out, and Pat Simpson, the old team manager, is the first one that calls me. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous."
Hmm.
You know, and he's like, "I was in the office. Like, I know the truth. Like, these guys are just the worst."
Wow.
So then Canton calls me.
Okay.
You know, and Canton's just like, "I was there. Like, I know exactly what happened. Like, this
Wow.
is, you know, just play it cool." He's like,
Sure.
Canton was just like, "Whatever you do, don't go on YouTube."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good advice.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't read
I'm just
comments.
like-
Don't
Yeah.
go on YouTube.
I'm
yeah.
like, "Wow, is it that bad?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty bad." And I
Oh,
was like,
shit.
Great. You know, so yeah, you know, like it just trying to think here, like, so all these people are reaching out to me
Mm-hmm.
who are actually in the office,
Right.
calling it out, like this is bull, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm just trying to just go on with my life, you know.
Sure.
And it's just when people start pitching me as the shady one, the liar, this, that, like that's when I'm just like, okay, I need to come and air
Speak your
some
truth.
Sure.
air some things out here.
No, it's funny
Right,
because with all
right.
this stuff coming out, you weren't like that. You weren't like, I need to settle this and
No.
start spewing stuff on the Instagram or
Right,
anything. You were
right.
like calm, collected,
I
and
mean, that's what Brian does, you know. If you follow him,
Mm.
like you can see like the instant that interview came out with me and Rocky
Mm.
in GQ.
Okay.
He was all super hurt because he didn't get mentioned in the interview.
Got you.
That interviewer called Rocky, not me.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
in
yeah,
the
you didn't
interview.
hit them up, be like, hey, I got this idea
Yeah.
for you guys.
Right,
Yeah,
Right.
The dude did not care one iota about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wanted to talk to Rocky.
Right.
and I just peckered in. Rocky would be like, and Dave, you know, this and that. Like,
Right.
so, you know, he got super hurt off that. And, you know, it goes on. And this is kind of like to the point where here I am, you know?
I think the problem too is with some companies is they don't embrace their roots. They don't embrace how they got to where they are.
But that's a perfect example. You look at a shoe company like Vans, who has kept their core people around,
right?
And you know are still doing a great job. You know,
But listen, the story's crazy. You know,
Yeah.
It just makes me, you know, I don't know. I just get mad at, you know, these people out there because some people are calling you out and being like, yo, wishing harm on your family and this and that. Like they've moved on with their lives. Like you remember that comment, but at the same time, it's like, they don't give you a rebuttal, you know, they don't be like, they don't retract what they say, you know, they're just moving on. And I think that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I think it's fucked up.
This
man.
is
people are
the-
assholes. They're idiots.
The most
Yeah.
interesting
Morons.
part of the story is I moved to Encinitas, obviously now, and I'm skating Poods one day, and the guy who is an international sales rep, he's like, Dave, like, what up? And just
For Osiris?
Yeah, for Osiris.
Okay.
So we're just talking, and I get this feeling he's trying to tell me something. You know, so he starts talking, and this is him telling me.
Yeah.
These are his words. Is that Mag had hired him to ship containers of my shoe over to Europe and to put the royalties in his Swiss bank account.
Wow.
Is what he's sitting there telling me. And I'm just like, whoa.
How would he know that?
He was international sales rep.
Oh goodness.
Oh, goodness.
So he had his fingers in it too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of looking at him like, okay, like,
You're
I
out
get it,
You're out
but
yourself too.
yeah, I get it, but it's just like, yeah, you're probably in it too. And I just kind of,
let it go.
you know, yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
like, whatever.
yeah. There's levels to it.
So then I'm in a coffee shop.
Uh-oh.
Oh, geez, keeps going.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
has
trust
this-
me,
yeah.
these people are like coming to church.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because they know they did wrong and they're trying to like, you know, repent their sins or whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But like, so my wife and I are in a coffee shop, and this other guy who was at Osiris for a long time, pretty high up, is just like, yo, you know, like we should meet up and talk. And I'm just like, yeah, cool, you know, like we just live here now. And so we end up getting together and talking, and he's just filling me in on more stuff, you know. So he's like, once again, these are his words. He's like,
Yeah.
you know, I was in the office when Mag would like slash your check in half.
Jeez.
Like, oh, we can't pay Dave that. Let's pay him this.
These
you
are
know?
royalty checks?
Yeah.
Dirty.
Which is how, like, if you go back in time, my numbers didn't add up,
Right.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's just filling me in on all this stuff and just,
It makes me think too. I wonder. Listen, we're talking about skateboarding, right? I wonder, and it just makes me think about like the bigger companies, you know, like the Nikes and Adidas and the Under Armours, and right?
Yeah.
Like, how does it? How far does it go? Right? Are these other companies doing stuff like that, or is it too? Are they too big that they can't do stuff like that? Are they
that's-
taking care of the people they're paying? And
but that's the
I'm not talking about
thing.
skateboarding. I'm talking about basketball,
Yeah,
soccer.
across
I'm
the
talking
boards.
about across the
Yeah.
board.
Every industry.
Every
But
industry.
I go back to this, they're betting on stupidity. Like, they want you to be so into your sport that you don't even pay attention to this.
True.
This whole thing is
So-
like a Netflix documentary.
Oh,
You
dude.
someone should make a whole
It just,
thing.
it just sucks when skaters take from skaters.
Yeah.
That's real
Right.
talk.
I mean-
But-
I mean, look, I don't. I'm just saying this in a sense of like, dude, when you are doing stuff like that, and you're at the top, and like coming from our industry, I just think that's dirty ass shit, bro. And that's just me thinking
I always
plain and cut,
Yeah.
like straight to the like, really?
I just ask why. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I always like, well, why? There's a reason behind what you're doing. Well,
Greed is a
tell
hell of a
us,
drug. I was
like,
gonna
tell us
say.
why. That's what I want to know.
Greed's
like,
a hell of a drug, man.
you know,
Money.
Yeah, but that's just
You don't
what
have
always
any
questions
clue.
me.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the amount of zeros.
Well, Jesus Christ, Dave. Let me tell you something. You've been through the ringer and back. But to me, the one thing I love about you too is like you seem to have just a mellow. You have a great outlook on everything. It seems like you've kind of just like rolled with the punches to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
of course, you got to like kind of fight for what's right,
Yeah.
But again, you have a pretty good outlook on all the stuff that's happened and everything,
Yeah,
Just sitting here talking to you, you don't seem like this bitter ass dude that's trying to like, you know what I mean? Like throw people under the bed. You're just like, hey, this is my truth. This is what happened, Like, what am I going to say,
Totally.
No, for sure.
So,
And I think, something that comes along with it is just I haven't, been paid for them for decades,
Right.
I just don't.
right.
I don't pay attention to it.
As you shouldn't, as you shouldn't. But again, you said, I mean, this is a never ending story. It'll keep getting brought up for the rest of our days here.
I might have to come back. I don't know.
Listen, we have the Stop and Chat.
Yeah.
We have the Stop and Chat show. You come back anytime. We'll talk about some stuff. If you have some new stuff going on, we'll review some old skate clips.
I think that would be amazing because you got a lot of shit
Hell
that people will bug
yeah.
out on now that was happening back then.
Oh,
That
dude.
we're doing.
I mean, we'll review like some clips from the storm and
We
like,
can compare Nolly shove it back nose.
Oh,
down.
Yeah.
bro.
Hey,
did it
both are
way
buttery.
better.
No, both are buttery. Both are buttery.
Wow.
Decades later. I swear it was like
It
10
was.
years later.
I know.
Now that I'm hearing
It's all
about it,
good. But he had the wavelength. He might not have seen it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I
no,
might
no.
have saw it. I don't know, but I'm just saying I didn't specifically remember it. If I did, and what made me do it, I don't know.
Well,
maybe,
is it
maybe
even
it was
the-
the energy that you had already had.
It was like that same trick, but also like Jerron in San Diego. I'm like, what a they did the same
rare
trick.
clicks.
Like, wow.
Rare clips out there.
Yeah.
Clips. But San Diego was popping, man.
For sure.
I mean, they had the bus stations, little
yeah.
bump to bumps and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
The Greyhound. Greyhound bumps.
Yeah,
That was
man.
my first evil ad, I think, was
Amazing.
switch hard flip over.
Oh, so sick.
Switch
Yeah.
flop, flip.
The first,
flop, flip. It wasn't like the.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got introduced to that by the, Plan B video, obviously.
Yeah.
That
Carol
spot,
and
yeah.
It was epic.
Sheffy.
Dude.
Great
Yeah, man.
Perfect.
We were talking about before the kickflip back lip, kickflip out.
Yeah.
Was those benches or the ledges downtown that had the brick on the ground
Yep.
that had the grates on top?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were super sick
They
ledges.
were super fun.
Yeah.
I was pretty bummed because I kept like landing and shooting out. I was like, son of a-"
I didn't wait. It was this cause that was just like a random sidewalk, kind of, wasn't it?
It was a planter.
But like it was still like it wasn't like in front of a building, right?
It was on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, why the cops trip you? What?
Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Look at this. I'll tell you one thing. As a 13, 14-year-old, I was getting put in the back of police cars.
Oh, yeah.
And now 13, 14-year-olds are winning gold medals.
There you go. There
How
you go.
crazy
You
is
know,
that,
like,
dude?
Yeah, amazing.
It's a good way to sum it up.
I don't think, and that goes back to what I wanted to say in the beginning was like, I feel like we owe it to ourselves to keep educating these kids to understand what came before.
Yes, that's very
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely.
So when I say Nada's guns, Rodney, I could keep going like
Yeah.
that's real.
And that's
you
a
know?
beautiful thing too, is because since we started doing this show, I mean, listen, our demographic is older, right? It's like 18 to plus, right? To 70.
You guys got to tap into that younger.
But that's the thing though, is like, when we go to like Salt Lake or these other places, like 12-year-old kids are coming up to me like, dude, I love the 9 Club. And I'm like, you're rad because you're so young that you want to learn about every pro and stuff like that behind the scenes and where stuff came from. And I mean, it's so important. I think maybe some kids don't really necessarily do their homework, but maybe later on they'll start learning about where everything came from.
That
and stuff
was
like
what
that.
was rad about Jerry Sue.
Yeah.
When we first met that dude, like we had to get a permission slip for the Maple tour, for him to even go on it.
Amazing.
But that dude like knew what was up.
Yeah.
You know?
And those are the rad
And-
people. It's like you look at the people like Tiago, and like
Oh,
they love like the Brazilian culture. Like they love where the skateboarding came from and the history and the story behind it,
I mean, we wouldn't even be here if we didn't appreciate that. Or
No.
what people, I mean, I look at that table, I'm like, what you guys did on a skateboard, That's why I'm here.
Well, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
It's the
mainly,
only reason.
the other. No, I'm kidding. No, but that's real though.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I know you got to teach these kids that the Olympics happened because of everyone that came before it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like regardless,
absolutely.
and like that's like on streetwise too, contest, whatever. But
Oh, for sure.
it's wild.
No, it's great, man. It's great,
Yeah.
dude. But man, this has been epic. Dave Mayhew, 18. Maple,
Evil.
the D3, the D2, the D1. You know, listen,
What?
man. I mean, I'm just saying. Oh, they're designed by. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm saying. You know where I'm getting at, though. You know. No, but enjoy. I mean, listen. I love you because you've been, you know, such a legend and being involved with all these legendary companies. You know, that's what I take away from skateboarding. Right? Is just being involved with like Chocolate and Girl and being involved in their projects that will live on forever. Like that's what I take away from it. I'm like, man, I'm so blessed to be a part of something like that.
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know?
that's with the skate shop. That's what I told the kids. I was like, work on a video part, film it, and you'll trust me. You'll look back and be like, that's sick.
100%.
Yeah, for
man.
sure.
You know?
100%, bro. And I like that you rep Slappy's, bro. Slappy's
Yeah.
Garage.
Shout out
Hell yeah.
Jason
shout out.
Carney,
shout
my
out.
homie.
Yep. Shout out
Maple.
Jason.
Oh, yeah, legend.
Hey, they got 2 locations. Is that right?
Yep. If you're in San Diego, downtown and Linda Vista.
There you go.
Nice.
Man, go support.
Jason,
Go support Slappy's.
we were
Hell
talking.
yeah.
I was just in the shop. We were talking about him coming on.
Oh,
Let's do
hell
it.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, there's so many people we need on this show. You know, it's like one skater at a time. We'll get to everybody. It's so, you don't know the amount of comments we get. Like, you should have this person on this, but we're like, we know.
Yeah.
We're only like a, couple man team here.
Dude,
so.
you should get Eric Costin on. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I never thought. Wait a minute. I've never thought about having Eric on the show.
Yeah.
It's weird.
They have to want to come on.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can call all these names, call them out, but it's up to them.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah. We sit here and just wait for the doorbell to ring, hopefully.
But just quick with the progression video.
Bro, progression.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about it
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Sure.
So, that all came about because I think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I flew out to New York, met up with Rodney Torres,
Hell yeah.
Q.
Q.
He had a trick in it, and Mark Nichols, and we just skated, and like we had so much fun, like struggling for hotel rooms and like just driving around the city and
You were
like
doing it. What year was progression, by the way?
Because that was
know?
like, what issue was that? Do you remember?
it was after the storm.
Okay.
They didn't have a lot of.
No, they didn't.
I would say
can't-
like 6, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know.
basically what happened was like we acquired this footage and somebody, I can't remember who it was, wanted to like do your sit down interview and I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like,
Right.
it's just, once again, let's just do something cool or just something fun, So the guys, Suge, Constructive Ruckus, I ended up, so what happened when I first moved to San Diego is a bunch of Wisconsin heads and a bunch of dudes from El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
And we all kind of clicked, and those guys are from El Paso. And whenever I've gotten the opportunity to like do something, I want to uplift my friends.
Okay.
So that's why like the Storm video, I use a Constructive Ruckus song. And then for the progression, we did the whole, Mark Nichols came up with the idea of the video and like driving over money because everybody was out there like saying that I was making a ton of money when I wasn't. And like,
right.
we thought it was just funny.
Sure.
So he was
You
like
know.
rapping
Oh yeah.
in the part, right? Or like
Yeah.
with you, kind of?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like
yeah.
in the video? That's what I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Okay.
Mark was like, we got to make it like a hip hop video.
I remember he
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there was something, it was like, he said, Tinsel or be my mentor or something. Didn't he rap
I-
that or something? And I was
don't
like,
know.
me and my friends with like Tyrone, and we would always say shit like that. Like, we were like, what the hell's going on here?
All I know is like, it was so funny because when that came out, like, I heard people like saying to me, like, oh, Dave thinks he's a hip hop dude and this and that. I'm just like,
shit. They didn't
it's just
get
so
it.
funny what people
Take
want to
away.
dive into. You know?
Absolutely, man.
And like, that was just funny. So shout out Constructive Ruckus,
Hell yeah.
Suge, Hodge,
Dope.
Blue, all them guys.
Dope. Because you filmed, you said you filmed that part. We were talking about off air, but you said you in like 5 days or something, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it
Wow.
was just
All
New
East
York.
Coast, just
Yeah, New York, and then we went to Philly.
God damn.
Or not Philly. We went to Boston
Boston.
Yeah.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
for like
Man.
a day or something.
Dude,
Takes me
you,
5
Guys,
days.
Boston City Hospital.
Yeah, I think we did.
Huh?
did you see him out
Yeah,
there,
I did.
Raj?
No, I remember hearing that they scared there.
I did pivot, like back pivot, and then kickflip into back in.
Oh, the
Okay.
fakie.
Yeah.
I was dodging. People were trying to kick us out, and I was like running back up. And, like,
Sick.
Amazing.
Dude, I want to
Super
shout out Rodney Torres. You brought his name up.
Yes.
Because I met him when I was a kid at the local skate park in Laguna. Randomly, he was there,
Yeah.
but he just was the nicest
Oh,
dude.
He's
The
great.
nicest
And I was
dude
just
ever.
like, yo, I'm a huge fan from there on. I always thought his skating was dope. But
Yeah.
you know
Rodney
how it
killed
is.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
I was hyped to be out there with Rodney, and like we put it together, and he has some banging clips in it, and
Yeah, man.
it was cool. Like to me, that was like one of more of my favorite video parts, just because it was like fun and quick.
Right.
Spontaneous.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like dragging out. Like Johnny got hurt, so then we got to put it out
You gotta wait,
longer,
yeah.
and then
Oh,
you got to
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
It was just that.
Right.
sick.
That's
And then
great.
I got to give one more shout out.
Please do.
So my homie Roman,
Okay.
today is his 40th birthday,
Happy birthday, Roman.
and he
birthday.
he watch you guys all the time.
Oh, hell
super hype.
yeah, hell yeah.
Thank
This will
you.
come out a week
So-
after, but
Yeah.
happy belated,
Happy
Roman.
belated.
Hell yeah.
2 weeks
Yeah.
later.
Whatever.
He's a rad dude. We skate all the time.
Roman
So,
who? What's his no last name?
Top secret. We just call him Roman.
Roman. Okay.
Perfect.
Shout out Roman.
Happy 40th.
Happy 40th, bro.
Hell yeah, it's awesome.
No, but dude, this has been amazing, bro. And like we said, man, come back anytime. We have our stop and chat show. We review clips. It's more loose. We just hang out,
Yeah.
shoot the shit.
We can talk about the progression video.
We could talk. We'll pull
Yeah.
clips
Yeah.
from the progression video.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can.
You know what I'm saying? So,
can.
but it's been an honor and a privilege to hang out with
Hey,
you,
it's
man. I'm
definitely
glad that you could sit here and, after all these years, kind of speak your truth about, all the, all the skating and especially the D3 stuff and stuff like that. So, I've learned a good lesson here today, and that lesson is that don't believe everything you hear. It's all a big game of telephone. Even if the whole industry and the whole skateboarding community is talking about something and they believe in something,
Yeah.
don't believe everything that's out there because it's probably not true. So I've learned a great lesson here today because I thought that story was damn true. Walking in there and, getting the last shoe, winning the lottery pretty much, but far from it.
Yes.
Far from it, dude.
But when details need to be hid, people hide them.
Yes, they do.
So
I'm glad you came in and
That's what's
revealed
up.
some of those.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
No,
Definitely.
cleared the air, man. I like it.
yeah,
I
no,
like it.
I'm honored to be here with you guys,
Bro.
and
Can we give you some 9 Clip stuff to take home, man? Maybe a mug, and
Yes,
a couple
sir.
of things, bro. Kelly, we do the honors, bro, and we don't have that much stuff in stock right now, but we need to re-up on a bunch of stuff. So, but we have a few mugs back there, maybe a sticker pack.
that's it.
Trying over here, huh? We're
I'm
trying.
We're trying, man. We're trying. We're bogged.
Podcasting's tough.
Yeah, we're bogged down. We're bogged
man.
down, man. But
I don't really drink coffee.
tea,
Not really.
milk,
I'm vegan, dude.
water.
No.
You don't drink water?
Just
Shit.
kidding. Of course I drink
Okay.
water.
Okay. Use a mug to drink some water.
All right.
Yeah. Tea's good though. You don't mess with tea ever.
I mean, sometimes.
It's a good
Yeah.
pencil holder.
Tea's good.
Yeah.
Pencil order. There you go.
Man.
No, I'm not trying to not take it. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, we don't want to
When
force
the shirts
anything.
come in, I want
We don't want to force.
something.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus,
we got
Kelly,
you
we
for
got a
sure.
whole thing of stickers here, bro. First of all, Dave, dude, pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much for
sir.
coming on the show.
Sure. No,
It's been incredible.
Pleasure, bro.
where it's at.
First of all, here's a Switch Flip Manny mug that you could put your water or tea in.
Thank
There
you
you
very
go,
much.
dude. All available on the
How did you do that?
What? I made that. What do you mean?
The
How did I
trick.
do that?
How did you do that?
Right there.
Oh,
Huh?
okay.
It was the studded belt, dude.
See that?
Yeah.
You see
He's
that?
just like, what?
Listen. No, yeah, that's not- Hey, here's a candle. We do have candles. Isn't that
That's
weird?
cool.
But we do. People like them. And this is a birthday cake. Smells delicious. Don't eat it
I won't.
because it smells like I want to take a bite out of it. It's delicious.
So funny courthouse story. Quick
Please.
is in the Edney's video. I did backside nollie up it and like switch flip off it,
Okay.
and I remember all the people were like, "Nobody's nollied up that."
Bro.
Oh wow,
And it's
yeah.
funny because in Now you guys do all
Quite
that
a
crap.
Oh my god, dude.
Do all that
Just like-
crap.
I know. Yeah, do all
Like a
that crap.
backside
I mean,
nollie.
what Kelly's done on
No,
it.
I
it's
know.
fuck.
I don't want to talk
Backside
about
nollie.
Kelly.
Thank you, bro. Hey, you deserve this pack of stickers. There you go, man. Huh?
Thank you.
There you go, dude.
I will take it to Pooh's and give it out to all the kids.
Hey, give it,
you
bro. And if they don't know about the 9 Club, please school them and let them know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need some subscribers, man, and some likes on the videos, and donate to our channel memberships, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, anyway,
There you go.
I love it.
bro, Dave Mayhew, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Woohoo. We will see you back here for Stop and Chat, bro. We're holding
Sounds
it
good.
to you.
Yes.
Okay.
I owe Steezus some shoes.
Yo, what about me?
You're not gonna wear those shoes,
Yeah.
dude.
Which shoes?
I got him the Rocky Under Armour shoes.
What about me?
Size 13s?
They only
14.
had 12s. They only had 12s, but
He's just gonna sell
That'll be
those
size.
things.
I wear 10.
Yeah.
You said it first.
Also, I wear size 12.
that's cool.
I wear size 10 and a half, but I wear 12. What about us? Can you get us some? Are they still making those, by the way?
I don't even know.
Okay. How much do they sell them for? Do we know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
But
Anyway.
you could look it up.
Yeah, you-
Maybe I'll
don't know.
DM. Maybe I'll DM old Rocky.
Yeah, good luck.
Ask him to. I know. Shit.
He did call me once. That was
Really?
cool. Yeah. Out of nowhere, he just called me. He's like, "What's up?"
Was it a random number,
Wow.
or did you have his number in the phone?
No, I had his number in my phone.
Look at you.
But
what you
well,
guys just
because
talk? What you guys
know.
talk
You're-
about?
Yeah.
you're in New York. I mean, and then he lives out here too. So I was
Okay.
like, came out to his house out here.
Oh, sick.
So like, we've hung out a bunch of times.
Wow.
You see Rihanna?
No,
Oh.
Are they dating
But-
each other? Really?
For a while.
Damn.
Riri?
Dude, maybe she was wearing.
Riri.
Oh, Riri?
She was wearing a pair of your kicks. That might have been,
You never know.
who knows?
Who knows? Dave Mayhew, thank
Yep.
you so much, dude. This has been
Thanks,
great.
so.